for Peoria. Hear the coffee brewer. Get the day started sooner with the friends that feel like home. Never feel like I'm alone. Breakfast with Roger and friends. Wazoo FM till the morning ends. Breakfast with Roger and friends on Double Wazoo FM.
Little technical problems there in the beginning, but we're on the air on WACU FM 90.7, also on YouTube. Good to see everybody bright and early on YouTube this morning. Good morning, Dr. Gene Sidler. How are you this morning?
Good morning, Roger, and everybody.
And Terry Chamberlain's here as well. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning.
And I don't know about your drive from East Peoria, but my drive from Morton indicated there were some pop-up showers overnight. Some part of I-74 dry as a bone, and I could see some precipitation in some areas as well. Mm-hmm. And we're getting indications that this is going to be a rainy day today.
I think we're going to have those pop-up showers on and off all day, the way it looks on the radar map, and got a little bit of it coming in on my windshield. You might have come
sprinkled.
in.
Yeah,
sprinkled.
I had some sprinkles.
Yeah, it was kind of the calm before the storm. And we'll have our famous pop-off weather guy coming in, popping off a little later on as well, Kyle Varnold. We always look forward to Mr. Weather for that matter. We're kind of dragging butt a little bit this morning because the U.S. Soccer team took it on the chin, 3-2 to Turkey.
It's a little bit of a disappointment. The match did not mean much for the U.S. team. They had already clinched first place in their pool division, their group. So their place in the next phase, which is called the knockout round, that's where it's a single elimination bracket.
You lose a game, you're gone.
Yeah, that part you are done if you lose a game. But their place in that bracket had already been set. So win or lose, nothing was going to change with that game last night. As a result,
do you think that reflected in their play? I don't think so. I think when you play in a championship or a big-time tournament like this, even if you're expected to win, and I don't think players have a letdown. Do you really?
I do, actually,
do?
And
Okay.
and it extends even to the coach because he didn't start his two best players.
Well, that was
one of them did come in. Actually, both of them did eventually come in halfway or second half part of the game.
but it didn't make any difference.
And it did not. I mean, almost immediately, Christian Pulisic, one of the top players, had a scoring opportunity and really should have scored. He didn't get the shot off. And then after that, they really never had much of a scoring opportunity again the last 30, 40 minutes of the match. And then it was tied 2-2. I'll talk about that in the sports report. But all the way until the 98th minute, basically. The match is only supposed to last 90 minutes, but the referee always adds what they call extra time because injuries cause a cessation of play, and that's not fair to take that out of the game time and all that, but because they keep the clock running continuously regardless.
Yeah,
Plus, they now
crazy,
have these two hydration breaks. They have one in each half. That's something new, that they stop play and everybody goes to their sidelines and drinks and rests. And
well, I do that during the day.
We have it. Yeah, we started the hydration break back decades ago, but that's new for football, as they call it everywhere other than the U.S. Soccer here in the U.S. But so they added 7 minutes of additional playing time, but then they even went beyond that because it seemed like Turkey had an offensive move going. They were down right at the goal and peppering the goaltender with shots, and so he didn't stop at play until finally they scored, and then he stopped playing. The game was over.
The game was over.
And the Turkish team won, and that's nice that they got a chance. They won, and they deserved it. They still were eliminated. They were the last place team in their group, and even with that win, they got eliminated.
They were eliminated after winning.
So they don't even move on to the next phase. But at least they go home with the win over the U.S., and that's kind of like a feather in their cap in its own right.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
What's the story on how they are spelling the team name? I don't understand that. When I went to school, Turkey was Turky or Key.
That's something new within the last year or two. Turkey themselves has insisted that they spell their country's name. Was it Turkye?
Some crazy
yeah.
spelling, and I said,
Yeah, a little bit unusual that we're not used to. But a lot of those European countries keep going through changes. I'll talk about our next opponent. The U.S. next week on Wednesday plays Bosnia-Herzegovina.
We should beat them.
Do you remember learning about Bosnia-Herzegovina?
No, I remember Bosnia.
There was
when we had the war,
that was
Hillary Clinton came under fire while she was flying a C-130.
Yes, but that
You
was
remember
early
that?
1990s. Back when you were in school, there was this country that doesn't exist anymore called Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
And
So that's Bosnia.
Yeah, there's no Yugoslavia anymore. It broke into 6 or 7 different countries now. You got Serbia, Slovenia, Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Krivkor.
They got Montenegro, Kosovo.
Well, I thought that was a song.
Now there's all these different Balkan countries that you can't remember them all.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Anyway, the coach kind of said, we wanted to finish first, and we did, and he was kind of licking his wounds somewhat over it. We wanted them to win. We wanted them to go undefeated into match play or whatever you want to call what's going on. At any rate, we will see. When is you're going to have sports. You'll give all the details when the U.S. Plays next. Let's do what we do every morning and bring you the most comprehensive news in Peoria Radio. More news, more often is our slogan. And, of course, we'll start with the most comprehensive and live weather report brought to you by Steve Sink. Steve, is the managing partner of PHX Affiliates. Nice guy. He's been a business broker for over 20 years. He works with people who are interested in buying and maybe even selling their business, and he certainly knows business. You receive, if you're a business owner or you want to be a business owner, he's a go-to guy, and you can reach Steve today, 309-696-8508, 696-8508. Well, what do you have in the way of weather, Roger? I think it's going to be mostly cloudy, according to the National Weather Bureau, with showers and thunderstorms today, high around only 73 degrees. Tonight, cloudy and windy with a low 62. Slight chance for rain late tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 82. Those mild temperatures continue, and I believe we could say it's the calm before the storm when it comes to heat. Tomorrow night, showers and thunderstorms, a low 68. And then the heat wave rolls in on Sunday. Sunny and hot, 90. Monday will be 93. Tuesday, 95. And guess what on Wednesday? 96.
90. Holy cow.
Yeah, holy cow.
That's July now. When you get to
Yes,
Wednesday.
July. Well, it's just around the corner. Standing on the corner watching the mercury go up. Currently 67 degrees. That's your live weather report. Mr. Weather Kyle Varnold joins us later for more live weather updates. Let's get into the news with Teri Chamberlain. What do you have this morning, Terry?
Well, President Trump maintains that Iran wants to make a peace agreement, but it doesn't look like it. The Iranians launched a drone strike yesterday against a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. There were no deaths or injuries. However, the International Maritime Organization temporarily paused its vessel evacuation operation. Trump says the strait is open And the U.S. Central Command says American fighter jets are patrolling the skies in the area.
In this country, the Supreme Court handed President Trump and his administration 2 major immigration victories yesterday. The court held that migrants who are turned away at the border before entering the country are not entitled to apply for asylum. Did you listen to some of the arguments that the Democrats in the court were arguing? They believe if you're at the border, you're in the country.
Yep.
And they were arguing, so automatically...
It was more of a compassion argument than a legal argument.
Right, exactly,
yeah.
hmm And that's not all. The High Court also ruled that Haitian and Syrian nationals in the United States under temporary protected status could not receive judicial relief while they challenged the Trump administration's efforts to revoke it. A lot of word salad there. Conservatives on the court prevailed 6-3 in both of those cases.
It was also a 6-3 vote that struck down a Hawaii law that prohibited licensed concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns onto private property without express permission. The justices found that the restriction violated the Second and 14th Amendments.
All right, and here's an interesting human interest story, and you like to strangle the guy. The owner of a tattoo parlor in Largo, Florida. You probably have been there a couple times when you went to
Largo
Florida.
is just adjacent to Indian Rocks Beach, which is where we have done our spring vacation the last 3 years. So it's we
Is there
go there a
such
lot.
Isn't there a song? I don't. Maybe a
there's
city,
Key
Key
Largo.
Largo.
Key Largo is a different place,
So it's
all the way down.
So there
to
is a
Keys.
city with Key Largo. What's the song?
Yes.
Isn't there a song with that title or part of the lyrics?
let's see.
Key Largo.
Yeah, is it a Jimmy Buffett song or some kind of a song
From the
like
buffet or what?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this clown is facing backlash after he announced he would not serve police officers or military service members, past and present. His name, in case you want to pin the tail on the donkey, Brady Martinson, and he said the men and women who serve in the military and in law enforcement are war criminals. I hope his business dries up and he walks away with a big tattoo on his butt.
In local news, 17-year-old Nadram Williams pleaded guilty to shooting another teen multiple times 2 years ago in the 2700 block of West Wyoming Street. Williams was just 16 when he shot his victim, who has since recovered. The attorney for the young gunman struck a deal with prosecutors reducing the attempted murder charge to aggravated battery. Judge Steve Corey will sentence Williams in August on the lesser charge.
The Peoria Police Blotter also reports the arrest of 18-year-old DeMarcus Crowder on a variety of charges from aggravated battery to possession of a stolen vehicle and unlawful possession of a weapon. Crowder was apprehended without incident on the city's south side.
Peoria police are asking the public's help in locating 64-year-old Ernest Porter. He hasn't been seen since last Tuesday in the area of Wayne Street on the city's near north side. He's described as 5'7" with brown eyes. Call police if you have any information on his whereabouts at 309-494-8357.
Peoria firefighters were called to put out a house fire in the 1900 block of West Albany during the noon hour yesterday. The vacant structure was a total loss and a demolition order issued. Officials say arson was the cause of the fire.
The Peoria Journal is reporting people are living in the 20-story Riverview Plaza building in the 100 block of North Jefferson. The building has been closed for over 2 years, but not to some folks living in the basement of the former First Federal Savings and Loan Association structure. The city has taken the owner, MJ Illinois, to court and testified they found a living area that has been newly remodeled with a gym, beds, and a shower. The city has assessed fines for more than $1 million and has yet to collect
I don't know if I
single
read
penny.
this. Thank you. I don't know if I misread this in the local newspaper, but they allegedly said, or the owner allegedly said, he didn't know that was going on in the building. It's been remodeled. It's got a shower there and a workout gym. Everything. So it's an interesting development. You know, it doesn't look good for downtown Peoria when you have a building of that size empty. And as you know, you leave anything empty for a long period of time without running water, without electricity, et cetera, and so forth. the deterioration rate increases rather significantly. So I hope between the city's fined the guy millions of dollars, and specifically, I don't know how much it is, over $1 million in fines. When he can't even open it, he doesn't have the money to open it. On one hand, I feel sorry for him. On the other hand, he knew what he was getting into, maybe, for that matter. Well, anyway, that's a look at some of the stories we're following. We do want to mention that they're attempting to recover perhaps people in Venezuela. They have 250 dead. Again, I hope I didn't misread it. They claim 30,000 people are missing.
I think
Did you read
the death
that?
toll is going to go well into the thousands because, yes, there's videos of entire buildings collapsed, apartment buildings.
It's just absolutely horrible.
And this hit suddenly and unexpectedly, as most earthquakes do, and so there has to be people buried in those buildings that have collapsed. Yeah.
You know, the leader of Venezuela, I believe she's a female leader. I'm sure she's happy that they have developed a friendly and supportive relationship, because President Trump has been very open and said we will provide whatever assistance we can to help the people of Venezuela. So
Yes.
I think that's a very significant development in relations.
There's a number of earthquake relief teams already either headed there or already there to try to help in
Help
that
out on that,
recovery.
yeah. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Venezuela. Now let's get into the news from our friends at WCBU, brought to you by your hometown community banks, Division of Morton Community Bank. 50 branches across central Illinois to serve you. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. They are members of FDIC.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. A Woodford County school hopes new state legislation will help end its 2-year wait to install solar panels. The bill requires energy companies to give priority to schools. It now goes to the governor to be signed. Republican State Senator Chris Balkema represents the Metamora School District, which advocated for the change.
If we put a solar panel on a rooftop, we're getting some value out of that rooftop that otherwise there would have been no value.
Metamora is waiting in a queue behind 140 organizations waiting to get connected to the power grid. Peoria is officially getting its first Dutch Brothers drive-through coffee shop at the intersection of War Memorial Drive and University Street. The City Council has approved an agreement that will reimburse developers up to $1.2 million over several years for eligible project expenses. Councilmember Alex Carmona says attracting a business like this is the point of a TIF district.
They've broken ground, and I know a lot of constituents are looking forward to having Dutch Brothers on the corner there.
The total project is expected to cost $1.4 million, and the city estimates the store will generate around $420,000 in tax increment annually. Tazewell County has contracted a Springfield-based company to supply and service its 56 copiers that print about 3 million copies each year. The county board has accepted a $320,000 bid from Watts Copy Systems. That represents a switch from NCI Business Systems of Morton, which holds the expiring 5-year contract. That change didn't sit well with several board members who voted against the agreement in preference to remain with the Tazewell County business. And Governor J.B. Pritzker says his office has been advising the Chicago Bears on crafting a new proposal that would keep the team on their home turf. He says he hopes the team has a bill before state lawmakers are set to meet again in the fall.
We want to get it done as soon as possible, and if they're able to put everything together as we hope they will, as I've said, I'm willing to call a special session so that we can get a vote on it.
The Bears Board of Directors voted earlier this month to move forward with a stadium development project in Hammond, Indiana. I'm Ben Howell.
All right, Ben, thank you for the latest from WCBU. Let's turn to the world of sports, brought to you by BradleyFans.com. Dr. Gene Sidler with the latest. Good morning, Gene.
And yesterday, other than that big soccer game, not a whole lot of sports to report, but we'll start with that. Final game of what they call the group phase of the World Cup, the United States versus Turkey, last night in Inglewood, California, just outside of Los Angeles. The U.S. men were heavily favored in that match against Turkey. It was the last place team in that group at the time, and Yet the Turkish team played a terrific game, and justifiably they won the game 3-2 over the U.S. Disappointing loss for the U.S. men. The Turkish team scored the go-ahead goal just as time expired in the match to take that 3-2 victory. The loss does not hurt the U.S. team in the World Cup. They had already clinched first place in their group and a spot in the 32-team bracket that starts play next week. But it was a disappointing result for the American team. Even with the win, Turkey finishes last in that group and is eliminated from the World Cup tournament, so they will not play any more games. They do not advance to what's called the knockout round, the round of 32, which is a single elimination bracket. U.S. team's next game in that 32-team bracket is next Wednesday, July 1st, in Santa Clara, California. That's in that Levi's Stadium, the home of the San Francisco 49ers football team, and it is against a team from Bosnia-Herzegovina, third-place team in their division, their group. That's Group B. So that should be a game that the U.S. will win, but you just can't take anything for granted. That things can happen. There's a lot of uncertainties with the bounce of the ball, and yes, that's what accounts for upsets quite frequently in soccer. So good luck to the men's team as they advance into that next phase. They haven't really played one of the top 10 ranked teams in the country yet, and if they advance past the Bosnia-Herzegovina team, they will end up playing a really solid, top-notch team, and so we'll see how they do when they finally reach some of that kind of stiffer competition. Over in baseball, last night the Chicago Cubs won. They beat the New York Mets 4-3 in 10 innings. That was their fourth win in a row, and they swept all 4 games out in New York against the Mets. The Cubs moved to Milwaukee for a weekend series starting tonight against the Brewers, and right now the Cubs trail the Brewers by 6.5 games in that National League Central Division. St. Louis Cardinals game against the Arizona Diamondbacks was postponed due to weather. It will be made up next month, July 23rd date was the date set for the makeup of that game. The Cards will start a series at home tonight against the Miami Marlins, and the White Sox were off yesterday. They'll host the Kansas City Royals tonight in Chicago. Peoria Chiefs won. They beat the Beloit Sky Carp 2-0. Chiefs now 3-2 in their second half schedule of the Midwest League season. That series continues in Beloit through Sunday. And the National Hockey League draft, that starts tonight with the first and second rounds of the 7 rounds of the draft in Buffalo, New York. It'll continue Saturday for the remainder of the draft. The Chicago Blackhawks no longer have a first-round draft pick after trading it away for, they had the number 4 pick overall, which would have gotten them a pretty good prospect, but they traded away to the Buffalo Sabres for defenseman Bowen Byram, who's a pretty good defenseman, and that's been a weak point for the Blackhawks the last couple of years as they've been in a rebuilding phase. They have some very good offensive players, very good young offensive players, but their defensive line is a bit weak, and so hopefully this will help them there. They still have 6 picks in the 7 rounds of the draft, including 2 high second-round picks. St. Louis Blues have a total of 12 picks in the draft, including 4 first-round picks, so they're also in that rebuilding phase, and they should get some good prospects. And that's about it for sports, Roger. And yeah, we looked it up and found that it was Bertie Higgins who sang the Key Largo song, and I see that you are prepared to play
around each other,
Good song.
trying so hard to stay warm. That first cold winter together, lying in each other's arms, watching those old movies, falling in love so desperately. Honey, I was your hero, and you were my leading lady. We had it all, just like movies and
key in the whole chain of keys is Key Largo. So it's a rather large key and a lot going on there. The keys get smaller as you go on down through the Lego down to Key West.
Yeah, how far is Key West from Key Largo?
Oh, it's 150 miles, somewhere between 120 and 150 miles, depending on where you start from.
Like Peoria
You
to
get
Chicago.
all the way down to the bottom of the Keys. Yeah, it's a long trip.
Have you been to Key Largo?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. In fact, I've stayed there a couple of times. Really? Because right offshore of Key Largo is the John Pennekamp Marine Park. It's an underwater state park. And it's for divers, and I used to be into scuba diving.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. You did get into that,
My
didn't
son
you?
and I, we did some diving off the shore there of Key Largo, and there's quite a business in scuba diving there, where people, when they pack to go down there, they don't take their big heavy scuba tank and all their equipment with them, so you rent the equipment and you charter a boat, or you get on a charter boat and you go out and you do your diving and come back in, and it was fun. There was one or two trips where the water got quite choppy, and I have a penchant to get a little seasick if it gets too choppy.
Too choppy.
So I can remember a couple of those trips.
And you would get that even though you were in the water and.
No, it was on like the trip back.
Riding in the boat.
Yeah, you're out. It maybe takes an hour or so to get out to the park where the reefs are and where you do the diving. So yeah, it seems like about 6 hours when you're sick. You can't wait to get back.
It seems like it's hours before you're going to get on the shore.
Exactly. Yes.
That happened to me and everybody on the troop ship after we left Southampton, England, for New York or New Jersey. I don't know where in the world we wound up docking, but we left in October, and that's when the Atlantic gets choppy. And so many, and the crew of the ship, I got acquainted with the Navy crew of the ship, and they were telling me things to do, eat apples, keep food in your stomach. Because
get up on the top of the deck.
Well, we couldn't do that because
do
the waves were too high. So the ship was, the deck of the ship. Anyway, it was so bad that they had barrels all over where we were.
Barrels.
Yeah, I won't go into the details because I'm sure some people are eating their ham and eggs and oatmeal and whatever for right now. And I never did have a tendency to regurgitate. I've only done it twice in my life, and that trip was one of those. And you could see guys. I remember sitting on with some buddies on the ship, and you would hear a guy coming, running toward one of the barrels. You wanted to laugh, but you wouldn't because you didn't know when it was going to be your turn. I remember going on a fishing trip, and one of my grandsons got ill. And he said, I need to go ashore. Well, we had a group of people there. We weren't going to go ashore for him, so he had to suffer through it. Now, is it true, once you get seasick, putting that patch on the back of your ear or whatever, it's too late, isn't it?
Yeah, it won't have the effect you want it to have because any kind of what we call transdermal medication moves very slowly into your bloodstream. So we would recommend you put that patch on at least 24 hours and sometimes 48 hours ahead of your trip because it needs time to build up and reach a therapeutic blood level. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, despite your sometimes penchant, I guess, to be seasick, you still went ahead and did a lot of scuba diving, huh?
Oh, yes. And most of the trips we took were to Caribbean islands, and those are much nicer reefs, warmer water, beautiful, much calmer water usually, and just gorgeous reefs in the Cayman Islands.
Do you have any scares? See any underwater creatures that might have big teeth?
Yeah, you do, but they don't tend to
Bother you?
feed on divers.
Okay.
We've seen sharks.
You did see sharks?
Quite a few times we saw sharks.
Did they cause seasickness?
No, again, there's really not been any reports ever of divers being attacked by sharks. It's people at the surface. They feed on surface animals like seals and penguins and
people
other
on
yeah,
surface?
and sometimes other fish that are feeding at the surface. But yeah, no, you just ignore them and they'll ignore you. We even went on what's called a shark dive, my son and I.
Oh my goodness.
Where they take you out to a nice flat area, not a reef of any kind, but a nice flat bottom area, and you sit around in a big circle, and they open this big chum bucket and start with a big wand with a point on the end of it. They start pulling out big chops of fish that have been chopped up, and they draw the sharks in. And sharks don't just come in and stop. They zoom in and grab a piece of fish and zoom out. And so you're in this big circle, and they're just coming right over your head, right between
my
you and the guy
goodness.
next to you. And as long as you just sit there quietly, they will not bother you. They'll go after the big chunks of fish they're pulling out of the bucket. And it was quite an experience.
Yes, I would say it would be quite an experience. How long were you in that setting? 30 minutes, 40 minutes?
But probably 30 minutes,
Yeah.
30, 40 minutes, something like that, yeah.
Did you and your son, when you surfaced, laugh about it and say, was that exciting or was that exciting?
Yeah, it was a unique experience. I have a video of it. They
Well, put it on YouTube.
I'll have to see if I can upload it to YouTube.
People can
I'm
watch
not sure
it.
I know how to do that with a VHS tape, but I think I might have had that transferred to a disc. Well, I can see. But
You're braver than I am.
one other dive I can remember, we were diving on a reef, and it was a beautiful reef. You see everything from seahorses to all the colorful fish and the sea anemones and everything on the reef. But a moray eel. Now those are those big, fierce-looking
Yeah.
eels with the long, sharp teeth. It swam right up to me and wrapped itself around my neck like a scarf.
Ooh.
I tried to I had a dive partner on that dive with somebody I didn't know, and I tried to get his attention because he had a camera. I wanted him to take a picture of it. I'm just kind of frozen there. I think he was attracted by the warmth of
Your
my
body.
body, but he just stayed there for maybe 2 or 3 minutes while I was just
I wonder what-
motionless.
I
I
wonder what
decided I
your
wasn't
blood
going to
pressure
try to
was.
shoo him away, and I wasn't going to try to move. And they did fine. Oh, after those couple of minutes, I inflated my vest. We have these dive vests, and it's also connected to your scuba tank, so you can put some air in your vest, and that takes you back up to the surface. And I put a little air in my vest. I started to rise slowly, and he didn't like that, so he just went all back down to his hole in the reef, and that was it.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a cool experience.
Cool.
I never was too worried because there really isn't a concern about them attacking you. Again, they look as fierce as any animal in the sea, but they really don't attack unless you maybe probe them or harass them.
something.
Then they might become a little reactive.
How about
to that.
barracuda? Barracuda are known as nasty.
Absolutely. Saw lots of barracuda. Sometimes you'd see
They have
them.
big teeth.
Sometimes you'd see
They're
them in
little teeth.
schools of thousands of them.
Really?
Thousands of barracudas swimming together in a huge.
Does that put you in danger?
No, again, barracudas really aren't a predator
They
for
aren't.
big animals like humans.
Like,
They go after smaller fish. Again, if you swim into a big school of them and stir them up, you might get attacked. But no, and then there's another big fish with huge teeth called the tarpon, and
Yeah,
sometimes you'll see schools of tarpon. Now they hide out.
that's a bigger fish, isn't it?
It can be huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
they can be as much as 7-8 feet long, and they kind of lie low down in between the little valleys between the reefs, and they'll just kind of rest there, and apparently between feeding or whatever. But they look menacing as well. But again, they're really not something that divers would fear.
Well, you're listening to Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about AI and music generated by AI coming up. But first, let's bring you up to date on the stories we're following this morning. brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They've been around since 1993, providing home health care by nurses, therapists, and home care assistants, locally owned and operated. The good people of Spoon River Home Health, available 24/7 at 309-245-0723. With our news, here's Terry.
President Trump claims Iran wants to make a deal, but does it? The Iranians launched a drone strike yesterday against a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. There were no deaths or injuries. However, the International Maritime Organization temporarily paused its vessel evacuation operation. Trump says the strait is open, and the U.S. Central Command says American fighter jets are patrolling the skies. The Supreme Court handed President Trump 2 major immigration victories yesterday. The court held that migrants who are turned away at the border before entering the country are not entitled to apply for asylum. The High Court also ruled that Haitian and Syrian nationals in the United States under temporary protected status could not receive judicial relief while they challenged the Trump administration's efforts to revoke it. Conservatives on the court prevailed 6-3 in both cases. It was also a 6-3 vote that struck down a Hawaii law that prohibited licensed concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns onto private property without express permission. The justices found that the restriction violated the 2nd and 14th Amendments. In local news, 17-year-old Nadine Williams pleaded guilty to shooting another teen multiple times 2 years ago in the 2700 block of West Wyoming Street. Williams was just 16 when he shot his victim, who has since recovered. The attorney for the young gunman struck a deal with prosecutors, reducing the attempted murder charge to aggravated battery. Judge Steve Corey will sentence Williams in August on the lesser charge. The Peoria Police Blotter reports the arrest of 18-year-old DeMarcus Crowder on a variety of charges, from aggravated battery to possession of a stolen vehicle and unlawful possession of a weapon. Crowder was apprehended without incident on the city's south side. Peoria police are asking the public's help in locating 64-year-old Ernest Porter. He has not been seen since last Tuesday in the area of Wayne Street on the city's near north side. He's described as 5'7", with brown eyes. Call police if you have any information on his whereabouts at 309-494-8357. Peoria firefighters were called to put out a house fire in the 1900 block of West Albany during the noon hour yesterday. The vacant structure was a total loss, and a demolition order was issued. Officials say arson was the fire cause. The Prairie Journal is reporting people are living in the 20-story Riverview Plaza building in the 100 block of North Jefferson. The building has been closed for over 2 years, but not to some folks living in the basement of the former First Federal Savings and Loan Association structure. The city has taken the owner, MJ Illinois, to court and testified they found a living area that has been newly remodeled with a gym, beds, and a shower. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, thank you, Terry. Now a check of the weather brought to you by our friends at AMT, Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. They've been around helping people, the men and women, since 1991, saving lives with paramedics and emergency medical technicians, EMTs commonly called. When seconds count, you can count on Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Well, we're going to have a wet day today, and according to the National Weather Bureau, and we'll get support for more details coming up with Mr. Weather Kyle Varnold. Mostly cloudy with showers and thunder boomers today, with a high around 73 tonight, cloudy and windy 62. Tomorrow it'll be partly sunny and a high of 82, and tomorrow night showers and thunderstorms, a low 68. For the weekend, Sunday, sunny and hot, up to 90. Monday next week, 93. Tuesday, 95. And yes, 96 on Wednesday. But we're a long way from that right now. Let's take it and enjoy it. 67 degrees. And that's a look at the weather and a little reminder that this Sunday will be a good day, the 59 annual Shish Kebab by our friends at I2. The Lebanese cuisine will be available at 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Dine in, carry out, and drive through. Now, to drive through, you have to pre-order, as I remember Dr. Joe Corey said yesterday. And there will be live entertainment both outside and inside. I think I'll be inside if we have a temperature on Sunday of 90 degrees. So we urge everybody to take advantage of it. The other thing we wanted to mention, Dr. Joe Corey was in, and he talked about the production of a song titled "To Bigotry, No Sanctuary." And this song that he brought in and we played, we're going to play a portion of it, maybe all of it, coming up, is fascinating because it's a nameless singer. It's AI produced. And
Yes.
Give some other details about how Dr. Joe Corey came up with this beautiful song, beautifully sung, beautifully produced.
Yes, and they are the actual words of George Washington that he wrote in a letter. I'm just looking it up here. He wrote a 1790 letter to the Hebrew congregation of Newport, Rhode Island, assuring them that the Jewish community will not be persecuted in the United States. And the words pretty much kind of echo the entire concept of what America is all about.
And he produced it. I guess he produced it, but AI actually produced it. Is that more accurate?
It produced the
He
music
provided
and the singing, but not the lyrics. So the song itself was written by Joe.
Yes. And AI produced the music and the singer, for that matter.
Yes.
And has somewhat of an Irish flavor to the song, doesn't it?
Yes, I think it's terrific.
Let's see if you will enjoy it as much as we do.
Bigotry, no sanction, Washington said without pause. To persecution, no assistance, these are based on our laws. Our tradition was built on the ideals that we know, which helped our nation prosper and grow. They came to the new world, seeking a new life, escaping a time of intolerance and strife. The laws of their lands made them yearn to be free, to worship or not, when a word was the key. They came with hope, but also some fear. They hoped it would be better here. Our country was young, everything was new. Would they be accepted when known as a Jew? George Washington was truly a man of his word. When he spoke, everyone heard. His message always rang clear and true. In the fullness of time, these important words grew. To bigotry, no sanction, Washington said without pause. To persecution, no assistance, these are based on our laws. Our tradition was built on the ideals that we know, which helped our nation prosper and grow. The lessons learned on that historic day are felt by those who worship different ways. Diversity with which we are blessed is celebrated by all through George's quest. His final thought for us in his plea that we sit in safety under a vine and fig tree. To bigotry, no sanction, Washington said without pause. To persecution, no assistance, these are based on our laws. Our tradition was built on the ideals that we know,
just hard to believe that everything was produced by AI.
There was not a single person's real voice there. There were no musicians. There were no instruments. It was completely fabricated by a computer program. Yes.
It is. It's just hard to believe. So what we did is we went to AI yesterday.
We went to a much
say.
simpler AI. Joe, I'm sure, uses a little more complex, sophisticated AI for specifically for musicians to use. But we just went to Google Gemini, which is an AI that everybody in the world can use, and asked them to create a song about Breakfast with
About our
Roger
show.
and Friends.
And came up with this.
Sun's up over Peoria, hear the coffee brewer. Get the day started sooner with the friends that feel like home. Never feel like I'm alone. Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Wazoo FM till the morning ends. Breakfast with Roger and Friends on Double Wazoo FM.
If you don't subscribe, you to do longer music videos.
Well, that was perfect.
You have to go and subscribe to a more lengthy and involved form of the AI, but then you pay subscription fee for that.
Yeah, but that was all free.
But that was free, yeah, to do just
Yeah.
on.
Normally
Google.
you'd have to go to Nashville
Yeah.
and
Hire
pay,
musicians
hire
and-
musicians and lyricists.
Rent out a sound stage or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It is, and as it turns out, it was kind of timely because as I think I mentioned yesterday, I don't recall for sure, but a wedding I attended last weekend, I met a gentleman by the name of Jim Burnham. He is with Health Strategies. I don't know if you've ever heard of the company or not, but he is also a musician, and he was telling, and we're going to play it, I hope, when we interview him at 7:15. And he produced an AI song titled Fly, or there's another title off the tip of my tongue. But we're going to talk to him and how he produced or had produced through AI a beautiful song that you're going to enjoy listening. I know we're conversation, talk radio and so forth, but we don't hesitate to be flexible and play a little music now and then and a few other things that we do with lots of fun. So stick around because that'll be coming up in the next hour. But what AI is producing is just absolutely remarkable, and we're glad we're able to talk about it.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah, I am too, because this whole world of AI is just expanding significantly with amazing results that blow your mind.
Yeah, I was looking on Joe's own personal website,
No, Joe Corey.
JoeCorey.com. Yes, he's got a website, and he does have some of his music on there, but he does not have that song, or doesn't look like he has any AI song on his website. So maybe we'll have to encourage him to upload that. So anybody that listening that wants to hear that or repeat it. They can find it, but right now it's only in your possession, Roger. With the
Well, we'll hang on to it because it's
Yes,
very
yeah.
valuable. I wonder what ASCAP and BMI are thinking, because there are no musicians to be paid, and this could turn the music world upside down. I do know we did hear that a local musician is really upset over what's going on, and that's understandable.
Many of those, yeah, artists in Hollywood, lots of them now, because you can actually make an entire movie from AI, and it's being done. There are now some movies online, 90-minute, 100-minute long movies, completely made by AI.
But now, how do you show? See, here's the argument. There's a strong argument by artists, and that is you can't beat watching a Brian Ellis or a Barry Cloyd singing in person versus playing. How do you make a movie without people? Was it all animation?
No, it's let me show you one that I downloaded here that I intend to watch.
Okay.
It's called Citizen Vigilante.
That's
I just moved to a part.
oh my goodness!
Partway through
Oh,
it, and,
I don't want. That's gruesome. I don't want to watch that. That person was laying in a bed with all kinds of. Now that is an AI.
Everything's
AI created
AI.
actors and
Car
actresses.
chases. There's interaction here.
Amazing. That's just.
It's all done by AI. The dialogue, the actors. They purposely make them not look like anybody that's a real person, because then somebody might say, "Hey, wait a minute, you're using my image.
Yeah,
you
you're
gotta
using
give me royalties or pay me."
The NIL payments would be
So
flowing.
they make them kind of generic-looking people, but I'm sure there's probably somebody that looks at it and say, "Hey, I think that looks like me." But yeah,
And that's all produced
this
by
is a
AI.
90-minute movie that
My
I downloaded, intend to watch. It's about somebody that gets fed up with some of the restrictive laws that are being passed in certain cities, and I think we know which cities we're talking about. One of them is in Illinois, and there's another one in New York, and another one in
I
California.
can't imagine what you're talking about.
Yes.
Fascinating stuff, so
yeah.
stay tuned. In the meantime, we want to remind everybody it's going to be rain today, and right now we're at 67 degrees, and time for our non-AI produced pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. As pet owners, we seem to be the ones that also rescue wildlife. This is admirable, but there are some guidelines we need to follow for the safety of the wildlife and humans as well. Most importantly, we should remember to handle wild animals only when absolutely necessary, and only long enough to get them to the wildlife animal rescue location. Because these animals are wild, that means they don't relate to humans in the same way as domestic animals. To wild animals, humans are predators. Everything about humans is alarming: voice, smell, size, and touch. So do not ever try to soothe a wild animal by voice or touch, which always seems to be the natural thing for us humans to do. When you do handle them, remember their defense systems. They will scratch, jump, stab, struggle, and bite in an effort to escape. They don't understand that you are trying to help them. If an animal hurts you, you are not going to be able to help the animal. Keep the injured animal in a dark, quiet, warm place in appropriate cage or sturdy cardboard box. Wild animals hide when stressed, so you need to create the illusion of a safe hideaway. Keep them away from domestic pets and human foot traffic until you can transport them. Never handle a wild animal that you are uncomfortable or frightened of, as this would create a very dangerous situation. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. You know, talk about wild animals. I guess you would Would you call a penguin a wild animal?
Yeah, I mean they're not dangerous or vicious, but they are wild. Yes.
Yeah,
sure.
I've always that's always been one of my favorite. After maybe elephant, but you can't keep an elephant in your backyard. I wonder, has anyone ever had a pet penguin?
I would guess that probably somebody has, and there are.
Wasn't there a movie, Mr. Popper's Penguins, or something like that, that had Jim Carrey in it?
Yes,
Or
yes, I
based on a
remember
true-
that. Yeah.
true story?
What was the name of the movie? I don't remember seeing that. I want to see that one.
Yes, Mr.
If it's about
Popper.
It was,
penguins.
yeah, it was not a movie that I felt a
That
need to
you-
watch, but
okay.
yes, he had a flock of penguins, didn't he? That he owned and that
somehow
they
he-
followed him around.
Well, what's your favorite animal? The two of you.
You asked me that once, and I said a capybara. And I still would like to have one as a pet, and some people now are getting
What are we talking about?
a capybara.
What is
It's
that?
a South American mammal. It's like the largest of the rodent family.
Oh my goodness!
So
Same thing
it looks
in the
like
rodent family.
an oversized rat, but it's
Oh,
but it's
and that's one of your favorites.
but it's a very gentle vegetarian animal.
Just seeing it, I suppose he has a tail like a rodent.
No, I
No,
actually
don't
don't.
think I don't.
Well, I might
Monica,
like it then.
Monica,
Anything
oversized
with
guinea
it,
pig in a way.
Yeah, more like a guinea pig.
an overblown.
Yeah, let me show you what a picture of a capybara looks like.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if I.
Yeah, you've probably seen these.
I think
before.
I think I got to pet one of those.
Yeah,
there's
they
an
have them in
exotic-
petting zoos.
Yes,
all the
there's
time.
an exotic place down in southern Illinois. Went down with Kathy and one of her grandchildren, actually two, the boy and the girl, Kent and Eva, and I think that's what that was. And it would every now and then get scared and jump, but it had hair that not curly hair, that kind of stiff bristle type of hair.
Stiff, like a toothbrush kind
And
of
yeah,
hair.
and they're really cute animals.
They are.
You're right.
They are. We went to.
I think the leader of the exotic farm, or whatever you want to call it, said they were a part of the rodent family.
Yeah, they are. They are the largest member of the rodentia.
But you can hold them and pet them,
You can pet them. They like
and
to
you
be
can
petted.
feed. They like to eat carrots and lettuce. Fortunately, not people.
I'm not sure they're easy to house train.
Probably
Well,
not.
I'm guessing they probably
well,
are.
neither is my dog.
But we took one of our granddaughters to the Peoria Zoo on Wednesday, and she loves the capybaras, and she bought a stuffed capybara in the gift shop that you go through. They are cute.
Yeah,
I fantasize having one as a pet. I would probably.
you
not
would.
do that,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, you're right. Unless you put a diaper on, you don't know. Animals are. Animals do what animals do, for that matter.
It's almost like the new resident I have in my backyard. I saw him a couple weeks ago. I suspected that he lives underneath the shed that my dad had put in the backyard. And the other day he was out right in the middle of the yard and he's munching on some sticks. It's what we used to call a groundhog.
Oh yes, yeah, they look a lot like the
Yep,
groundhog.
and he's just sitting there minding his own business, chewing on some of the apples that have fallen down from the tree.
Once in a while, on Highview Drive, I have to drive up, and they come out and they just stand in the middle of the road.
What are we talking about?
It's called a groundhog.
A big old
Oh, yeah.
groundhog, and
Really?
yeah.
He stands in the middle of the road?
Several
how long
times
will-
I've had
yeah.
to slow down and stop to get the guy to get out of the middle of the road. Yes. They usually burrow underground, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Some of those animals can tear up your. I'm trying to think. I had to get a guy from
Oh, yes.
Eureka. What do they call the little creatures?
voles?
Voles, yeah.
Oh, the voles.
Never heard of them before,
Oh, no,
but
they're-
they can sure ruin your lawn.
Yeah, they're like
very
moles.
quickly.
They're like a smaller cousin of a mole.
Yeah.
You know. Now, we have had moles, and they tore up our yard every year for maybe 10 years straight, and then they kind of disappeared in the last 2 or 3 years. I'm very grateful for that. I don't know where they are, but I
Probably
expect
in
they
your
probably
neighbor's
will come
yard.
back.
That sometimes they move yard to
They
yard.
did. One of the years they were not in my yard, they were in my neighbor's yard, and then they kind of disappeared from his yard too. but I'm guessing all of the tunnels are still there, so they'll be back.
They'll be back. They'll move back.
One of
Yeah.
these summer.
And we'll be back with news, weather, and sports coming up in the top of the hour. And we're going to talk to Jim Burnham, a member of Health Strategies, but we're going to talk about AI music. Don't go away for that. And we'll talk to Pekin Mayor Mary Buress after the 7:30 news in the next hour on Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria. Also on YouTube at Roger and Friends LS. It's Friday, the 26th of June, and we open this news block with a check of the weather, and it's brought to you by Matt Wall. He's a CPA and a tax specialist with Gordon Stockman and Wall, and he's experienced in all things financial, including estate and trust tax planning. You can learn more about your finances from Matt Wall at 309-692-4030. Mostly cloudy, showers and thunderstorms today, a high around 73. That's good news. Tonight, cloudy and windy, a low 62, and tomorrow partly sunny, 82 the high. And tomorrow night, showers and thunderstorms, a low 68. And Sunday, the heat wave rolls into central Illinois. Sunny and hot, 90. We're up to 93 on Monday, 95 on Tuesday of next week. And Wednesday, we'll reach 96. Right now, we're hovering around 67 degrees. Now, after that live weather report, let's get into the news with our lead story. Here's Teri Chamberlain.
President Trump maintains Iran wants to make a peace agreement, but it doesn't look like it. The Iranians launched a drone strike yesterday against a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. There were no deaths or injuries. However, the International Maritime Organization temporarily paused its vessel evacuation operation. Trump says the strait is open, and the U.S. Central Command says American fighter jets are patrolling the skies in the area.
In this country, the Supreme Court handed President Trump and his administration two major immigration victories yesterday. The court held that migrants who are turned away at the border before entering the country are not entitled to apply for asylum. The High Court also ruled that Haitian and Syrian nationals in the United States under temporary protected status could not receive judicial relief while they challenged the Trump administration's efforts to revoke it. Conservatives on the court prevailed in both cases by the typical vote 6-3.
There was also a 6-3 vote that struck down a Hawaii law that prohibited licensed concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns onto private property without express permission. The justices found that the restriction violated the Second and 14th Amendments.
The owner of a tattoo parlor in Largo, Florida, is facing backlash after he announced he would not serve police officers and military service members, past and present. Brady Martinson said the men and women who serve in the military and in law enforcement are war criminals.
In local news, 17-year-old Nadram Williams pleaded guilty to shooting another teen multiple times 2 years ago in the 2700 block of West Wyoming Street. Williams was just 16 when he shot his victim, who has since recovered. The attorney for the young gunman struck a deal with prosecutors reducing the attempted murder charge to aggravated battery. Judge Steve Corey will sentence Williams in August on the lesser charge.
The Peoria Police Blotter reports the arrest of 18-year-old DeMarcus Crowder on a variety of charges, from aggravated battery to possession of a stolen vehicle and unlawful possession of a weapon. Crowder was apprehended without incident on the city's south side.
Peoria police are asking for the public's help in locating 64-year-old Ernest Porter. He has not been seen since last Tuesday in the area of Wayne Street on the city's near north side. He is described as 5'7", with brown eyes. Call police if you have any information of his whereabouts at 309-494-8800. 8357.
Peoria firefighters were called to put out a house fire in the 1900 block of West Albany during the noon hour yesterday. The vacant structure, a total loss, and a demolition order issued. Officials say arson the cause of the fire.
The Peoria Journal is reporting people are living in the 20-story Riverview Plaza building in the 100 block of North Jefferson. The building has been closed for over 2 years, but not to some folks living in the basement of the former First Federal Savings and Loan Association structure. The city has taken the owner, MJ Illinois, to court and testified they found a living area that has been newly remodeled with a gym, beds, and a shower. The city has assessed fines for more than $1 million, but has yet to collect a penny.
Let's look at some of our stories we're following. We'll turn to WCBU for news. And that news portion of our program this morning brought to you by Mr. Weather, Kyle Varnold, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle, works with multiple companies to find the right policy at the right price. And you can reach Kyle for more information today at 309-682-0519. That number again, 682-0519.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. A Woodford County school hopes new state legislation will help end its 2-year wait to install solar panels. The bill requires energy companies to give priority to schools. It now goes to the governor to be signed. Republican State Senator Chris Balcomot represents the Metamora School District, which advocated for the change.
If we put a solar panel on a rooftop, we're getting some value out of that rooftop that otherwise there would have been no value.
Metamora is waiting in a queue behind 140 organizations waiting to get connected to the power grid. Peoria is officially getting its first Dutch Brothers drive-through coffee shop at the intersection of War Memorial Drive and University Street. The City Council has approved an agreement that will reimburse developers up to $1.2 million over several years for eligible project expenses. Councilmember Alex Carmona says attracting a business like this is the point of a TIF district.
They've broken ground, and I know a lot of constituents are looking forward to having Dutch Brothers on the corner there.
The total project is expected to cost $1.4 million, and the city estimates the store will generate around $420,000 in tax increment annually. Tazewell County has contracted a Springfield-based company to supply and service its 56 copiers that print about 3 million copies each year. The county board has accepted a $320,000 bid from Watts Copy Systems. That represents a switch from NCI Business Systems of Morton, which holds the expiring 5-year contract. That change didn't sit well with several board members who voted against the agreement in preference to remain with the Tazewell County business. And Governor J.B. Pritzker says his office has been advising the Chicago Bears on crafting a new proposal that would keep the team on their home turf. He says he hopes the team has a bill before state lawmakers are set to meet again in the fall.
We want to get it done as soon as possible, and if they're able to put everything together as we hope they will, as I've said, I'm willing to call a special session so that we can get a vote on it.
The Bears Board of Directors voted earlier this month to move forward with a stadium development project in Hammond, Indiana. I'm Ben Howell.
All right, Ben, thanks much. Time for sports brought to you by BradfordFans.com with Dr. Gene Sidler. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, Roger. And the big news from yesterday in the sports world, the United States played their final World Cup soccer match in the group phase of the tournament. They had won their first 2 matches against Paraguay and Australia. And yesterday's match was against Turkey. Played out in Los Angeles area, actually Inglewood, California, in the SoFi Stadium, the football stadium of the Los Angeles Charter group, with their first 2 wins. And with that, they have a spot in the final 32-team bracket that starts play next week. Nonetheless, this was a disappointing result for the American team. Even with the win, Turkey finishes in last place in the group, and they are eliminated from any further World Cup competition. U.S. team's next game in a 32-team bracketed knockout round will be next Wednesday, July 1st, in Santa Clara, California, in the Levi's Stadium. That is a stadium that the San Francisco 49ers play in, and they will play a team from Bosnia-Herzegovina. They finished 3rd place in their group, Group B. U.S. is in Group D. So that's their opponent for next Wednesday, and hopefully they'll move on from there and stay in competition. The final championship match isn't until July 19th as things work toward the final match. In Major League Baseball yesterday, the Chicago Cubs beat the New York Mets 4-3 in 10 innings. That was their fourth win in a row, all of them over the Mets, by the way. They swept that four-game series. The Cubs are in Milwaukee now to play a weekend series starting tonight against the Brewers, and they need to keep that momentum going because they are in second place now, 6.5 games behind the Brewers in the National League Central Division. St. Louis Cardinals game against the Arizona Diamondbacks was postponed due to weather. A lot of rain down in St. Louis all night last night. The makeup for that game was set for July 23rd. The Cardinals will start a series at home tonight against the Miami Marlins. With being idle yesterday, they are now 7 games behind the Brewers in the National League Central. The White Sox, Chicago White Sox, were off yesterday, and they're back in action tonight hosting the Kansas City Royals in a series that starts tonight at Rate Field in Chicago. And the Peoria Chiefs won. They beat the Beloit Skycarp 2-0. The Chiefs are 3-2 in their second half schedule so far. The series in Beloit continues through Sunday. And the only other significant sports story here now for the latter part of the week is the NHL draft is tonight and Saturday. The 7 rounds take place in Buffalo, New York. Chicago Blackhawks do not have a first-round pick now after trading the number 4 overall pick to the Buffalo Sabres. In return, they got a rather good, talented defenseman, Bowen Byram, and that should help the Blackhawks' defense, which has been a weak point for them. They still have a total of 6 picks through the 7-round draft, including 2 rather high second-round picks. The St. Louis Blues will be active tonight as well. They have 4 first-round picks and 12 picks total in the 7 rounds of the draft. And that is it for the sports world today. Roger?
All right, and any way you look at it, even though we talked earlier about the USA soccer team not expected to go very far, and this wasn't a very important game. As you mentioned, 2 of the regulars didn't start.
As far as the standings go.
Still, it's kind of a letdown because we're 2-0, and now we're 2-1.
You just wonder how it affects the mentality of the team. They obviously realize they're not invincible, losing to a team that they should have beaten. But these are guys who make their living playing soccer. All of them are professional players, either in the U.S. or over in Europe. And hopefully they'll bounce back. I think they'll be okay with their next game, but again, where it goes from there, we don't know who the next opponents will be because it hasn't all completed this first group phase of the tournament yet. So we don't even know who the other teams in the bracket will be, although they do know their opponent for next Wednesday. And we had a picture here of you petting a capybara. Did you know that?
I did. Kathy send it to you?
Yes, she did.
He sent
Terry
the picture of you petting a capybara. Now,
I didn't know what I was petting.
where was that, in southern
It's a long trip. It's south of Springfield. And interestingly, the exotic farm or zoo or whatever you want to call it is not well publicized in the neighborhood. I don't know whether it's because they don't want the neighbors to get excited about heavy traffic and so forth, and it's well controlled. You have to make an appointment to go there, but it's fascinating, and the woman who's in charge is very articulate. She knows the animals, and she goes behind a curtain and comes out with an animal and lets the kids, in this case, and adults, pet the creatures, and it's a one-on-one experience, to tell you the truth.
It looks like fun.
Yeah, and I say little compared to a giraffe or elephant, but it's a pretty good size, and the hair is
Like you said, stiff.
Yes, you're right.
It's not soft and fuzzy.
It's like a cat or a dog, for that matter. And there's just something about him that he's cute, but he also looks like
Well, he looks like a rat.
yeah. Well, I didn't want to say that,
Like a
but
giant, oversized
I think you're right.
But they're very gentle. And,
Oh, yeah.
And supposedly they make good pets. I don't know anybody that has one, but I've read that they do make good pets. Now, I don't think you can housebreak them, so you have to kind of keep them in their own pen.
Little space area.
Yeah, their own outdoor pen or something like that.
And I will tell you, the farm is very well regulated. I mean, there are things, and she points out things they can do and things they can't do with these pets. And if you want, if you have children or grandchildren, younger, interested in animals, I don't know what the cost was. I didn't pay the fee to go, but you pay in advance. And it was a great experience. Like I say, it's a little bit of a drive, but in the end, to see the joy on the faces of the two young children was worth the long drive.
Is it like a sanctuary? I mean, she takes animals that have been rescued from someplace, or does she purposely?
I think purposely acquires them. I think.
Okay.
Kathy would be in a better position to answer these questions. I just sat there in wonderment watching, and every now and then it would slither under my legs, and you sit, and they were on the floor.
Oh yeah, it's in the one
Can you see in the
little
picture?
boy's lap and
Yeah.
crawling on the back of the one little girl.
Well, yeah, I'm finding the name of one of them called the Rainbow Ranch Petting Zoo, Nashville, Illinois. Does that sound possibly like the one? There's also one called Aikman Wildlife Adventure, Arcola, Illinois.
No, that wasn't Arcola.
It wasn't Arcola.
Is Nashville south of
Yes,
Springfield? That
yes.
must be it.
Yeah, she
what's
says it's
There's
just,
also one called Pickle City Animal Oasis in Benton, Illinois. That's farther south, down by
We didn't go that far.
Carbondale.
You're getting close to Kentucky at that.
she says it's
particular
right
point.
by Springfield, so I'm guessing.
that
it's
sounds like
pretty
this
close.
Rainbow Ranch.
I think that was.
Well, let's see, 90 miles southwest of Peoria. Maybe there's another one that I'm not finding here.
Roger,
Yes.
there's the.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Crawling over first Eva and then Kent. It was fascinating. I'm trying to think, there were two other animals that she takes that back behind the curtain. It's kind of like a magic show. Now, our next animal is such and such. And I don't, that one was the star of the show.
I think it looks more like
that looks
a
cool.
guinea pig, because rats have
Yeah.
a pointy face. It
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
an
These guys
oversized
have
guinea
a real
pig.
blunt, rounded nose.
Well, I will tell you, it was a fascinating trip. And how'd you find the zoo? Did you enjoy your trip to the zoo? You went this week, did you?
We've gone there. I had never been to the zoo until we had grandchildren, and we've been there now many times with our granddaughters here locally.
This is Roger.
And Peoria Zoo is really a very good zoo for a city the size of Peoria. I will say that.
Yeah, they've made great strides from what it used to
got
be when I was a kid.
Yeah, they've got a really extensive array of displays and sections and animals that you can spend the full day there and enjoy it. Yeah. And they have a children's museum in the pavilion.
The old pavilion?
Have you been into there?
No.
We were in there as well, and it takes a lot of interest for the kids to play with all of the exhibits inside of the pavilion.
Yeah, Kathy was giving more details. Good morning, Kathy. What were we talking about in Southern Illinois?
Good morning. The place is called Wild Excursions, and it's right by Springfield.
Okay.
It's you just get off one of the exits at Springfield off of 55 and go east, and it's just like a little ways down past it. But they have all kinds of exotic animals, like kangaroos and just interesting things. But it's not visible because they don't want people just coming into their yard because it's at their house. But they have a building in the back and a special area for them. They have water and stuff, but capybaras have to have water because that's where they use for the bathroom. And so they need like a little pond or a lake, but that's their feet are kind of webbed. Very interesting. But they have these are so tame, and so you can go down there and spend an hour, and if they have time, they'll bring out some others. They brought out a I think it's a phoenix fox. The the tiny ones with big ears.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So, yeah, and the kids got to hold it, and then they brought out a blue-tongued skank. It's like a lizard. And the kids just get so much fun out of it. And, when you take pictures or whatever, pet them, but, you have to be careful with your zippers and stuff because they want to chew on them.
Yeah, the lizard was kind of interesting, and she made sure that it was always under control, and we spent time that made it even more enjoyable feeding the creatures. So
yeah, you get to feed them.
Yeah, and that's how
They
you
eat
win a
like
friendship.
lettuce. And they get up to, I don't know, I should look it up before I say it, but I think they can get up to like 200 pounds. This was a baby.
Yes.
His name is Captain.
And it is very reasonable cost-wise. I mean, you paid for it. It was kind of a birthday gift for the kids.
Yes, I think it's, you have to call them and find out for sure, but I think it was like $60 a person.
So it's not cheap. That's but it was great. All right, thanks, Kathy.
However, it was one of the best times that we've ever had, and U.S. said it was the best day of her life.
Yeah, she was thrilled with it. And that is until we went to the Peoria Zoo, and that was the best time of their lives. So
No,
we're
she still says that
the one.
she and Holton and Kathy was her favorite.
Yeah, because she wanted to get up close and personal with the animals. That was great. All right, thanks, Kathy.
Yeah, this phone's all wrong. Okay, I'll be quiet.
Okay.
God bless you guys.
Yeah, all right,
You're
thanks,
awesome.
Kathy. You bet.
Bye.
We were unable to make connection with Jim Burnham, but I'm going to play an AI-produced song. He wrote the words, and according to this, the music of a song titled Solid Ground. And I believe this is AI produced. And let's see if we can hear the music.
Solid ground. After quarter phases, the moon is all around. So I look to the sky, but I see solid ground. Birds, I swim with the tide, but I never die. After 100 miles, the pattern soon was painted. I slept under rain and thunder, a higher battle rages. So I look to the sky, but I see solid ground. I fly with the birds, I swim with the tide, but I never die. After a million ages, the tidal force grows stronger. requested that I wait no longer. So I look to the sky, but I see solid ground. I fly with the birds, I swim with the tide, but I never die.
Good song. And we happen to have the artist on the line this morning, and that's Jim Burnham. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Hi, Roger.
Thanks for joining us. A little mix-up on the phone number there, but we finally made a connection. Tell us about your, well, first of all, you're with Health Strategies, and we'll talk a little bit about that in the time that we have, but how did you get introduced to AI in producing music?
Very recently, I have always, I've been writing songs since I was 14, since I first picked up a guitar. And kind of up and on, I put it down for a while, and I wrote some more songs while I was in college, and we're talking late 80s college. And then I started a family and moved to Central Illinois, to Tremont specifically. And I picked up my guitar again, I started writing again, so I had this list of songs that I've collected over the years. So this is before AI. AI was kind of like in its nascent stage. They were still trying to figure out how it was all going to work. I was in the computer industry. I've been in IT for 35 years, almost 40 years now. And so I've always had this interest in it. I never worked on it specifically, but I have been a programmer, so I understand what goes on behind the scenes.
It's a fascinating industry. Now, there are some people, you are a musician, but there are some who aren't too happy about AI. What are your real thoughts about it?
So when I first, I'll get into that as soon as I say, how I got into it was through a link that my girlfriend sent me to a woman who first creates videos, AI videos, and then she looks at the video and goes, okay, I'm going to write a song to kind of match that vibe that's in the video. And I saw this video this woman presented, and I was like, wow, she did all this through AI. That's kind of amazing. And it's basically AI people dancing with different, they've got, it's a fashion thing where they're wearing different things and dancing and playing her song. But she wrote the songs, and she put in her comments all the tools that she used to put this together. And one of those tools was Suno, and that's S-U-N-O. And I got on there, and I created a free account, and they give you a little bit of credits to create something just so you can see how it works. So I uploaded probably not the song that I thought was my best, but I thought if it could change a song or create a song from one of the songs that I thought was semi-okay in my collection, I'd be totally in. And it came back with, and all I did was say, I prompted, I wanted it to sound soulful. I wanted a rhythm and blues feel, a little choir in the back, that type of thing. And that's all I had to do. I uploaded my lyrics. I uploaded a recording I did of myself playing the song. And it took it, and it created something I thought was, I was in tears when I first heard it. And I went over to Deb. I'm like, yeah, you got to listen to this thing. And she's wondering why, I have tears coming out of my eyes. And this is the first time I had heard my song played the way I had it always in my mind. with the backing track, the backing vocals and the instruments and the drums and everything kind of produced together. And so then I joined a Facebook group for this tool, and it was like a community group. And the very first two comments I got, and they when you join the group, you got to introduce yourself and say who you are and all that. And the first comment that I got, the first two were just nasty. Just these people who were just. One guy said, "Stick to IT, leave music alone if you won't make the effort."
Wow.
And that was the first comment. And how I feel about it. Like I'm overcome with all those emotions about having my song produced in that kind of a way. And then I saw that other side of the coin. There are people who are on this Facebook group who are only out there because they hate what AI is doing. And I understand. Another guy commented, and he just didn't like AI, period. Mm-hmm. And I went into his background, and I looked at his page, and he's a music producer. He does a lot of ambient music, like movie back soundtracks and things like that. And I saw then that there are people out there that are scared that this is going to take some income from them.
Mm-hmm. And that's
so then I had to decide. Yeah, I had to decide what, I had to pick a side, But there's a lot of support too. There's more people out there that are really enjoying it like I am. But there are also people who are taking advantage of it.
It's an attachment.
Well, your personal feelings is let the marketplace determine the future of AI and music.
Right. Yeah. You're not going to stop it.
Can maybe slow it down a little bit with some of the resistance that's coming from the actors and musicians and the people who fear loss of income. But yeah, you're right. Eventually, I think it's going to take place. And when a film producer can create a car chase or an explosion or something like that for pennies with an AI program that would cost millions of dollars to do in real life, it's a no-brainer, and yet that's what people are resistant to.
So you're right. There are a lot of people out there who are actually using this tool, and I'm finding them that are musically inclined. They do use AI as a tool to help create their art, and there's a lot of support in that area where you're playing around. Like I'll have a lyric with 4 lines in it, and I've got 3 lines, and maybe I have the beat for the last line. It's 9 syllables, and it's got to rhyme with the word hand. Okay, and I just can't land on the right line. Well, I went to ChatGPT or I don't know what the Microsoft one is, Copilot, and I said, take this lyric, these 3 lines, and I just need an idea for that last line. Rhyme it with hand, give me 9 syllables. And it'll spit out several options. They're never any good. It's not to the point where it kind of knows what you're thinking. But it does kind of lead you. You can keep changing that and get it to prompt you with different ideas. So it's an idea generator for sure.
Jim, we're running out of time. I've got news headlines, and we'll pick up, and maybe we can do this next week and get into more details.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it, Jim. You bet. Have a great day. Jim Burnham. And we'll talk some more about AI music with Jim. In the meantime, let's get into the news headlines at the bottom of the hour, brought to you by Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For all your investment needs, call Bob. He's available at 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. With the headlines, here's Terry.
Well, President Trump claims Iran wants to make a deal, but does it really? The Iranians launched a drone strike yesterday against a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. There were no deaths or injuries. However, the International Maritime Organization temporarily paused its vessel evacuation operation. Trump says the strait is open, and the U.S. Central Command says American fighter jets are patrolling the skies. The Supreme Court handed President Trump 2 major immigration victories yesterday. The court held that migrants who are turned away at the border before entering the country are not entitled to apply for asylum. The High Court also ruled that Haitian and Syrian nationals in the United States under temporary protected status could not receive judicial relief while they challenged the Trump administration's efforts to revoke it. Conservatives on the court prevailed 6-3 in both cases. It was also a 6-3 vote that struck down a Hawaii law that prohibited licensed concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns onto private property without express permission. The justices found that the restriction violated the 2nd and 14th Amendments. In local news, 17-year-old Nadine Williams pleaded guilty to shooting another teen multiple times 2 years ago in the 2700 block of West Wyoming Street. Williams was just 16 when he shot his victim, who has since recovered. The attorney for the young gunman struck a deal with prosecutors, reducing the attempted murder charge to aggravated battery. Judge Steve Corey will sentence Williams in August on the lesser charge. The Peoria Police Blotter reports the arrest of 18-year-old DeMarcus Crowder on a variety of charges from aggravated battery to possession of a stolen vehicle and unlawful possession of a weapon. Crowder was apprehended without incident on the city's south side. Peoria police are asking the public's help in locating 64-year-old Ernest Porter. He has not been seen since last Tuesday in the area of Wayne Street on the city's near north side. He's described as 5'7" with brown eyes. Call police if you have any information on his whereabouts at 309-494-8357. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, a quick check of the weather. Mostly cloudy, showers and thunder boomers today with a high around 73. Cloudy and windy tonight, 62. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 82. And right now, we lost a degree. We're at 66 degrees. Where we are right now is in the city of Pekin. On the telephone line is the mayor of Pekin, Mary Buress. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Roger and friends. How are you?
Well, we're doing wonderful, and I think this weather's going to slow things down on Court Street. Bring us up to date. Busy people of Pekin on Court Street to renovate and rehab a large portion of the street.
Yes, that has been a major project for us, and it is, I believe I told you last time, a $35 million project. This rain will slow it down a little bit, but you have to really pay attention here in the city of Pekin. I was gone for a couple of days, come back, and one lane is now open, another's closed that we were using, and it's constantly moving. It will be completely finished if everything is on time by December of this year. So, and that is everything from Veterans all the way down to 8th Street. So that's the main thoroughway through the city of Pekin. Much needed, and it'll be beautiful.
I had a nice lunch this week at Coffee Connection, which is a neat place for food and conversation. I'm just a couple of blocks away from this massive structure that's under construction near the Tazewell County Courthouse. Tell us about that project.
Well, I can tell you what I do know. That it actually was talked about and started in all the paperwork before I left the county in 22. but it is a county building. It's going to be an extension of the Justice Center. So, where City Hall is, and then our Tazewell County Jail, the Justice Center, this sits right next to it, and that will be, there will be virtual courtrooms there, I believe. There will be probation department, I believe, is going to be going over there. But all this is, I think they were finalized around a $34 million project.
Big job.
And it is Tazewell County.
Yes. But it's part of the city of Pekin, and it helps to kind of, you might say, rehab the downtown area. Bring us up to date. What are some of the other projects that you're working on providing leadership?
Well, we've got a lot going on here in the city of Pekin. We have now just heard we've got a developer, P&W, that actually wants to, they're putting out there, bringing in, I believe theirs was 35 units that they want to put over by Marigold Estates. If you know anything about Pekin, that's off of Parkway and Velde. So they want to put some duplexes there. And that was just put out yesterday to the individuals. The city of Pekin, we had been talking to them, but now they're kind of asking people in the neighborhood, what would you think about this? And then Jeff Horniker, he is a local builder. He is starting right there on the corner of Parkway and Velde. He is starting a 34-unit condos that are duplexes, but they're condos. So this is really making the city of Pekin grow again, with our Cullinan property starting and Lincoln land being purchased, and the engineering for Ludekin, the road to go through Ludekin property. All this was the beginning of a real change around for the city of Pekin. And people are now, they're contacting us, builders from other states. We've got a contractor from North Carolina that is interested in some property over off of South 14th Street on Remington Lake to build some duplexes over there as well. So City of Pekin is booming. This is just the start, just the beginning. I believe I told you we went up to Chicago for a couple of more awards. Would you like me to tell you about those?
You bet.
Okay. So it is the Illinois Realtors Journal Award, and we were nominated for 2. One was for redevelopment. There were 6 other projects that were we were in the running for. We did not receive that one. What did was a 56-acre, a huge truck stop and stop area. So that won that department. Second one was for City of the Year redevelopment, and there was 4 cities. And unfortunately, we didn't win that one either. Who did win was Joliet, and Joliet had been redeveloping and renovating their city since 2015. So we've only been doing this here like 2.5, 3 years, so we were very pleased to even be in the award for both of these projects. It was Illinois, the whole state of Illinois realtors. So once again, the recognition was wonderful.
Well, again, Pekin is... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said I think it's getting us back on the map. Our name is out there. We did have, we voted on if the Illinois American Water should take over our sewage plant or not. We voted against it. So the city has their own processing of cleaning their water, our sewage plant. It was a unanimous vote for us to keep it in-house. And I got an email from a gentleman that I was a county treasurer with, and he said this is a blast from the past, but the whole state of Illinois is talking about the city of Pekin on how proud they are of you, of the study that you did, and you decided to keep that in-house instead of going with Illinois American Water. So our name is abuzz in the state of Illinois, and I love it.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because on the other side of the horse, you might say, the road, Peoria has been through it in a different direction. So water is obviously an important part of any community, any city for that matter. One final question. I know some things are jumping at Pekin Hospital, and you've been very supportive of the project there as well.
Yes. That is $5.8 million they are putting in renovating their hospital. He just spoke to us at our breakfast the other day, and it should be starting here in a couple of weeks. It might have started because that was last week. So they are, unfortunately, there's the old building that was built in 1931. They are taking part of that down, and that will be then now a new restaurant and green space. But then the inside for the patients and everything, like I said, they're putting $5.8 million into it, and it will be beautiful. He was very excited. Anthony Howard is who runs that hospital here in Pekin, and he was just thrilled of what he's doing for the hospital here in the city of Pekin.
Sounds good. You're not old enough to remember this, but I worked at WSIV in the basement of the arcade building, and every morning at 10 o'clock, we interviewed Alan Hicks, who was administrator of the Pekin Hospital, and he would give the name of the couple that had a baby or the woman who had a baby and other hospital news. That was a long time ago, but my connection to Pekin Hospital and WSIV through Pekin is carries with us some very fond memories.
Yeah. Well, and like I told Mr. Howard too, is unfortunately, you have to have a stay in the hospital. If you're lucky enough to have one of those rooms that look over our beautiful park right in the center of town, what a stay! Yes. It is beautiful. Our Mineral Springs Park is one of the prettiest parks around.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you're pretty special too, Mary, the way you have resurfaced Pekin as a source of conversation, not only in central Illinois, but the state as well. Keep up the good work, Mary.
Thank you so much. I'm very proud of our team in Pekin here, so thank you.
You bet. Have a great day and a great weekend. Thanks, Mary Buress.
You do the same. Bye-bye.
Bye. The mayor of Pekin. We'll be right back after this very important message from our friends at the American Red Cross.
Every 2 seconds, somebody in America needs blood. You can help by donating blood at your local American Red Cross. Donating blood is easy. It only takes about an hour, and a single donation can help save more than one life. This is Alex O'Loughlin asking you to donate blood to help somebody in need. A friend, a neighbor, or somebody you haven't even met. Call your American Red Cross at 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit them at givelife.org. The need is constant. The gratification is instant. Give blood.
Think about everything that you save. You save gas, you save money, you save time. But have you ever thought about saving life? That's right, life. In just 1 hour, you could save up to 3 lives, giving 3 people more time with the ones they love. And isn't that the best thing to save? The need for blood is as universal as it is constant. Save life, give blood.
I think the guy was in a phone booth on that one. Let's give you more details about the weather. We were under a little pressure on time-wise. Mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms today. A high around 73. Tonight, cloudy and windy. A low 62. Getting into the weekend tomorrow, partly sunny. A high of 82. Tomorrow night, more rain, more showers overnight, low 68. Then we have this heat wave rolling in. Kyle Varnold, Mr. Weather, will be in and will explain what's going on as if we need any explanation. It'll be hot on Sunday, 90, Monday, 93, Tuesday, 95, and 96 on Wednesday. I didn't want to look at Thursday. Right now, it's 66 degrees. It's going to be a warm one, Mr. Grinch, to say the least. We've been talking about AI, and I don't know what the feelings the two of you have. I will tell you, I'm planning on closing the program with an AI-generated religious song that was written by Kathy Reynolds, but the voice on it is not Kathy. The music is all generated by AI.
But it sounds like Kathy. So did she upload some of her music, or maybe it found some of her music on the internet, because the voice sounds, yes.
Really? So you've heard it, have you?
She sent me a copy of the song.
And you remember the title?
And I listened to it, and it's a terrific song.
It is inspiring, motivational.
Very inspiring,
yeah.
Very Christian-based song about Jesus. And
being nailed to the cross.
And it's so pitch perfect that you can tell it's probably enhanced somehow by AI. But I thought it really was her voice.
I don't think so. I think
if you can play that, you will hear what sounds like Kathy.
I'm going to save it for near the end of the program as we go into the weekend. You know, it is just this AI stuff, and a lot of people are worried that they think AI is going to cost thousands, if not millions, of jobs.
It could.
Is that a fear? That
Especially
is
in
realistic?
the entertainment industry, yes.
Well, that won't bother me.
I mean, it's not going to take over. You can't call it to come fix your plumbing or your furnace.
You know, it could replace a lot of doctors. Think about that. Ask AI what's wrong with you and put your symptoms in. It probably can diagnose you better than a lot of doctors
I don't want to do that because I'm afraid of what it will say.
You're dead.
Yeah. We're surprised to hear from you. We thought sure with what your symptoms indicated that you're taking a dirt bath.
But architects, designers, financial advisors,
good point.
AI may be as good or better at, if not now, eventually.
Ooh, I never thought about that. That is, I will say this, however, and you know this, both of you know it, people listening and watching on YouTube. AI is not always 100% accurate. I've looked for information and on certain subjects, and they've been wrong.
Well, we are in the infancy of AI right now.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
That will improve, and eventually it not only will probably become highly accurate, it'll become way more intelligent than humans.
And that's the scary part.
Yes, it is.
To think of Space Odyssey.
You know what?
I'm sorry, David.
You know what?
You cannot do that.
You know what? We don't know what's going on in Iran. We don't know who's the leader, who's in charge. We don't know what they're truly thinking. Could we why don't we this morning ask AI, can you tell us what Iran is up to, and see what kind of a response you get. Ask it. Can we trust Iran in negotiations?
Here's the answer to what is Iran up to now. Iran is currently navigating a fragile 60-day ceasefire following a devastating 4-month war with the United States and Israel, while simultaneously participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So you see, it's picking news items out of the internet and giving us an answer based on those news items. It says domestically and geopolitically, the country is facing deep economic strain, intense internal repression, and a high-stakes standoff over vital global energy choke point. the Strait of Hormuz. And it goes on to describe all of the different features of what is going on right now in Iran. It doesn't appear to tell us what they're really thinking,
What
and
they're
I don't know
thinking,
that
yeah.
anybody
What they-
knows
No,
that,
nobody knows
although
that.
we can surmise that they're trying to play us.
All right, ask one more question, and that is, should the United States bomb the crap out of Iran? And see what it says.
I'll ask, should the United States and Israel
Resume bombing
bomb
Iran.
Iran more? How's that sound?
That
We'll
sounds
start
good.
with that.
See what kind of an answer AI
Now, this is
gives.
Gemini, the AI by Google.
Okay.
It takes a wishy-washy approach here. It says whether the U.S. or Israel should launch further military strikes against Iran is a subject of intense global debate.
Well, we know that. That's why we
Deeply
asked them.
divided, well, with deeply divided viewpoints among military strategists, political leaders, and foreign policy experts. And then it gives a whole list of arguments in favor of more military actions and a whole bunch of arguments against military actions. And then it doesn't come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
You are too wishy-washy here.
Yeah. Say, have you ever said anything insulting to AI? I have.
I got into an AI discussion with Grok, which is X.com's AI, Elon Musk's, and I tried to goad him, and that one is programmed to really get nasty. And
Oh,
use,
really?
And use vulgarity and attack you back. Yeah, I did it just for fun to see.
Yeah. And so you had fun.
And it was fun, but he really took me down a notch.
Well, I don't.
Just really took me apart.
That's funny. You actually do enjoy sparring, don't you?
With a computer, but not physically, no.
Well, I would like to read your reply when they got nasty.
I don't think other AIs are programmed
As nasty?
to use that kind of approach.
You should have replied by saying, well, you don't have to get huffy.
Okay, what should we ask Grok? I'll ask Grok the same question about should the U.S. bomb.
I've already gotten a reply from him.
I'll say heck. No, you're doing it all wrong. Just to avoid too much vulgarity here. And
I like that, thinking about your request.
yeah, he's got to think about it. This is.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Come on.
I have to say, I used it last year when I was asked to give the invocation for our reunion dinner. And I thought, all right, just put it in it and see, you get a base to start with. And it was really helpful.
Grok says no, the U.S. should not launch a large-scale bombing campaign, meaning bomb the heck out of Iran right now. And then it goes into its argument why we should use diplomacy and hold off further bombing.
Okay, here's what I wrote back.
You can't handle the truth.
Then put them in their place. I wish I had seen the exchange you had with AI.
Well, I'll insult him here. I'll say, you're a real pansy. Let's see what he says about that. He says, ha, cute. Calling someone a pansy or not cheerleading for endless wars doesn't make the case for bombing Iran stronger. So he's actually trying to still be polite to me, but if I continue to insult him, he'll get nasty.
He'll get nasty, okay. Oh, we have fun.
I'll say, what a stupid comment.
Yeah.
And then he'll say, let's see what he says. Solid rebuttal. Really moved the needle there.
Wow, it's snarky. It's downright snarky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is the difference with Grok and some of the other ones. Is it takes on almost like a real personality.
It does.
It
That's
does that
amazing.
way,
Nasty
doesn't it? Yeah.
person here.
We have 66 degrees. We have news, weather, and sports coming up. In the next hour, we're going to talk to Mr. Weather, Kyle Varnold, and he'll give us the lowdown. You're having breakfast with Roger and
That is
friends.
the only known Stradivarius.
Sun's up over Peoria, hear the coffee brewer. Get the day started sooner with the friends that feel like home. Never feel like I'm alone. Breakfast with Roger and friends. Wazoo FM till the morning ends. Breakfast with Roger and friends on Double Wazoo FM.
A pleasant good morning, everybody. It's Friday, the 26th of June, and we start with a check of the weather brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home, life, and medical coverage. Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing during his 40 years in the business. And you can reach Sam Lilly today at 309-245-4374. Mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms today. A high around only 73. Tonight, cloudy and windy with a low 62. Tomorrow to be partly sunny, a high of 82. Tomorrow night, showers and thunderstorms, a low of 68. And Sunday, sunny and hot. We're at 90, 93 on Monday, 95 on Tuesday, and 96 on Wednesday. Right now, our temperature is at 68 degrees. That's your live weather report. Mr. Weather Kyle Varnold joins us later in the studio for more live weather updates, including the current temperature. But now, let's turn to the news with our lead story, Teri Chamberlain.
President Trump maintains Iran wants to make a peace agreement, but it doesn't look like it. The Iranians launched a drone strike yesterday against a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. There were no deaths or injuries. However, the International Maritime Organization temporarily paused its vessel evacuation operation. Trump says the strait is open, and the U.S. Central Command says American fighter jets are patrolling the skies in the area.
In this country, the Supreme Court handed President Trump and his administration two major immigration victories yesterday. The court held that migrants who are turned away at the border before entering the country are not entitled to apply for asylum. I don't know if you followed the debate on any of the cable stations, but I have to say, and I say it with some degree of respect, some of the arguments used by Sotomayor were just downright dumb. I mean, I thought this woman did not. In other news, the High Court also ruled that Haitian and Syrian nationals in the United States under temporary protected status could not receive judicial relief while they challenged the court administration. Conservatives on the court prevailed in both cases by a vote of 6-3.
It was also a 6-3 vote that struck down a Hawaii law that prohibited licensed concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns onto private property without express permission. The justices found that the restriction violated the Second and 14th Amendments.
The owner of a tattoo parlor in Largo, Florida, where Gene Sidler has been with his bride. At any rate, he's facing backlash, as he should. He announced he would not serve police officers and military service members, past and present. The guy's name, Brady Martinson, he said the men and women who serve in the military and in law enforcement are war criminals. So what I think they ought to do is what the left does. I think a group of right-wing protesters should go down, smash his windows, and do other things, and see if he calls the war criminals to help him.
Now, to be clear, I've been to Largo, Florida, and I've also been to
Key Largo.
They
Yeah.
are different cities.
Yes.
And
Which city is larger? Which was
Largo's a
more
huge
attractive?
city right across the bay from Tampa.
Is a large city?
yeah.
Is that kind of like East Peoria?
Maybe
Location-wise?
maybe a little bit, but I think it's bigger than East Peoria.
Okay. But I mean, in connection to Peoria,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's basically a suburb of Tampa and the Tampa Bay area.
Okay.
Clearwater, on the Clearwater side, yeah,
right.
coastal side.
In local news,
In local news,
an echo.
17-year-old Nadrian Williams pleaded guilty to shooting another teen multiple times 2 years ago in the 2700 block of West Wyoming Street. Williams was just 16 when he shot his victim, who has since recovered. The attorney for the young gunman struck a deal with prosecutors, reducing the attempted murder charge to aggravated battery. Judge Steve Corey will sentence Williams in August on the lesser charge.
The Peoria Police blotter reports the arrest of 18-year-old DeMarcus Crowder and a variety of charges from aggravated battery to possession of a stolen vehicle and unlawful possession of a weapon for a person under the age of 21. And I might point out that he was apprehended, fortunately without incident, on the city's south side.
Peoria police are asking the public's help in locating 64-year-old Ernest Porter. He has not been seen since last Tuesday in the area of Wayne Street on the city's near north side. He's described as 5'7" with brown eyes. Call police if you have any information on his whereabouts at 309-494-8357.
Peoria firefighters were called to put out a house fire in the 1900 block of West Albany. During the noon hour yesterday, the vacant structure, a total loss, and a demolition order issued. Officials say arson, the cause of the fire.
The Peoria Journal is reporting people are living in the 20-story Riverview Plaza building in the 100 block of North Jefferson. The building has been closed for over 2 years, but not to some folks living in the basement of the former First Federal Savings and Loan Association structure. The city has taken the owner, MJ Illinois, to court and testified they found a living area that has been newly remodeled with a gym, beds, and a shower. The city has assessed fines for more than $1 million, but has yet to collect a penny. And that's the news.
Yeah, I just wonder if you had to have a membership. Maybe that's what they're doing at any rate. You know, losing a pet affects just about everyone. We've all been there and done that, unfortunately. And the caring people of Peoria Pet Crematory know that. That's why they're available 24/7 to help you through that terrifying, sometimes grieving process, offering several choices for care and remembrance. They're neat people, very compassionate. Peoria Pet Crematory. You can reach them at 309-713-1898. That's 713-1898.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. A Woodford County school hopes new state legislation will help end its 2-year wait to install solar panels. The bill requires energy companies to give priority to schools. It now goes to the governor to be signed. Republican State Senator Chris Balkema represents the Metamora School District, which advocated for the change.
If we put a solar panel on a rooftop, we're getting some value out of that rooftop that otherwise there would have been no value.
Metamora is waiting in a queue behind 140 organizations waiting to get connected to the power grid. Peoria is officially getting its first Dutch Brothers drive-through coffee shop at the intersection of War Memorial Drive and University Street. The City Council has approved an agreement that will reimburse developers up to $1.2 million over several years for eligible project expenses. Councilmember Alex Carmona says attracting a business like this is the point of a TIF district.
They've broken ground, and I know a lot of constituents are looking forward to having Dutch Brothers on the corner there.
The total project is expected to cost $1.4 million, and the city estimates the store will generate around $420,000 in tax increment annually. Tazewell County has contracted a Springfield-based company to supply and service its 56 copiers that print about 3 million copies each year. The county board has accepted a $320,000 bid from Watts Copy Systems. That represents a switch from NCI Business Systems of Morton, which holds the expiring 5-year contract. That change didn't sit well with several board members who voted against the agreement in preference to remain with the Tazewell County business. And Governor J.B. Pritzker says his office has been advising the Chicago Bears on crafting a new proposal that would keep the team on their home turf. He says he hopes the team has a bill before state lawmakers are set to meet again in the fall.
We want to get it done as soon as possible, and if they're able to put everything together as we hope they will, as I've said, I'm willing to call a special session so that we can get a vote on it.
The Bears Board of Directors voted earlier this month to move forward with a stadium development project in Hammond, Indiana. I'm Ben Howell.
All right, Ben, thank you very kindly for news from WCBU. How about some sports news? Brought to you by BradleyFans.com, Dr. Gene Sidler. Preside. Good morning, Gene. I know you're busy on AI.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with this AI thing here.
Well, who's winning, you or AI?
AI has slapped me down a little bit.
Okay.
But I think
we'll
held
slap
my own.
them around.
Yeah. No, I think I got some good answers out of them. Anyway, sports from yesterday. A couple of limited areas to talk about. We've got the World Cup soccer, and the U.S. played last night in a game late on the West Coast. Many people probably didn't stay up for it. It was a really exciting game. A lot of action. Maybe you could say a little bit of more scoring than you might have anticipated. Each team scored twice leading up to the final, maybe 30 or 40 minutes, then that remained tied 2-2. And then it ended with a goal in extra time, literally right at the end of the match, when Turkey scored to make it 3-2, and Turkey wins the match 3-2 over the U.S. Kind of an unexpected outcome.
You call it an upset.
Yep, it is definitely an upset. The U.S. was heavily favored in that match. U.S. was undefeated. They had won their first two matches against Paraguay and Australia. It was the dominant team in that pod, that group that they were in, and Turkey had lost both of their matches and were in last place. And actually had already been eliminated. Yeah. So they had nothing really to play for other than pride, and the U.S. likewise had already secured a place in the next round and had already clinched the division. So they really didn't have a whole lot to play for either, and that showed.
But pride, you gotta have pride.
There's got to be national pride. Yeah. But the coach kind of showed a little bit of his hesitancy to play his two best players, and he did not start Balogun and Christian Pulisic, the two top players on the U.S. team. And I think that hurt them early on, and it allowed Turkey to have a lot of forward action. Much of the match against Australia and Paraguay, very little action ever took place down in front of the U.S. goal. But in this game last night, Turkey was down there in front of the U.S. goal on and off all night. And it resulted in the 3 goals and the loss. So I think some of it maybe goes to the way the coach decided to play the players that he did. But on the other hand, he wanted to preserve them and avoid injury, and because they had clinched a spot in the round of 32, that he didn't want his guys getting re-injured. And
I think the coach is a turkey.
There's a bit of criticism of how he played things last night, but in the end, they move on, and they did win their division, and they will move on to that next round. They will play next Wednesday in Santa Clara, California, Levi's Stadium, against the team from Bosnia-Herzegovina. I am doing better pronouncing that.
You're doing good. I love it. Why don't you just say Bosnia?
Well, I probably should, because a lot of people do just say Bosnia. That's part of the old Yugoslavia that has been all partitioned up into, I think, 6 or 7 different countries now. But they finished third in their group, and they are a team that hopefully could say the same thing, that the U.S. should be able to handle, but you got to play the games, and they will next Wednesday. In baseball, the Chicago Cubs won last night, beat the New York Mets 4-3 in 10 innings, and it was their 4th win in a row. They swept all 4 games in that series out in New York against the Mets. The Cubs now are in Milwaukee for a weekend series that starts tonight against the Brewers, and the Cubs need to do well in this series.
If they sweep them as they did in New York, which they won't, but if they did, that race tightens up.
That certainly tightens up. They're 6.5 games back. If they were to sweep them, they'd be 3.5 back.
That's right.
And now they're in striking distance. So you got to believe that they're going to make an effort to do that, as they always would. The St. Louis Cardinals, on the other hand, their game against the Arizona Diamondbacks down in St. Louis postponed. A lot of heavy weather down in St. Louis and southern Illinois areas last night that led to the postponement of that game. Makeup is set for July 23rd. The Cardinals start a series at home tonight against the Miami Marlins, and the White Sox were off yesterday. They host the Kansas City Royals tonight up in Chicago. Peoria Chiefs won. They beat the Beloit Skycarp 2-0. Chiefs 3-2 in the early part of the second half of the schedule, and that series continues at Beloit through Sunday. And the only other significant note in sports, the NHL draft starts tonight. The first round is tonight, and the rest of the rounds are Saturday. It's a 7-round draft in Buffalo, New York. Blackhawks hope to pick up some talent to continue their rebuild, and the same with the St. Louis Blues. They had a really disappointing season last year, but with some trades that they made, they've picked up a ton of picks, and they have 12 picks in the 7-round draft, 4 of them in the first round. So they're going to get some good talent in this draft tonight. So good luck to those teams, and that's it for sports.
And we just got a call, according to caller ID. It's the coach for the U.S. soccer team.
I'm not sure I buy that.
Right. What's on your mind, Coach?
They were saying on ESPN that the reason he held those 4 out was because they had all received a yellow card in the pool play, and if they didn't set out a full game, then they had to miss the first half in the first medal game.
Really?
So this one didn't mean anything. They would like to have it, but they really
a
need
single
the
yellow
next round.
card. A single yellow card doesn't require a sit out, but if they were to have gotten a second yellow card, that would have. I think that's what.
Yeah. So that was why they pulled them out.
Yeah. So that makes a little bit of sense that they wanted to protect their players from having to sit out the next game or part of that next game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. And Pulisic was injured and missed the game against Australia, although he was said to be in pretty good health. That part of the reason they held out Christian Pulisic was because he was still recovering from a calf strain, an injury he suffered in the very first game against Paraguay. But yeah, again, it's disappointing. But I don't know. Are you a big soccer fan, Dick?
No.
Yeah.
My daughter always was.
Yeah, I've become more so because my kids played soccer growing up, and now my granddaughters do, and so yeah, I've learned a lot about the game, and it is an interesting game.
It's a boring game.
For Americans used to high-scoring sports like basketball, football, even baseball, it's a bit boring to watch guys running up and down the field, sometimes for 90 minutes without a single goal being scored. There have been several 0-0 draws in this tournament so far.
Well, hockey is that way too, but the big difference is you can go around hitting people in hockey. But on the other hand, soccer, you can kick them in the shins. Does that give you a yellow card?
Well, if you're doing it maliciously and you're not going for the ball, yes, that's a yellow card.
Yeah. Dick, I'm surprised to hear from you this morning when I was driving in from Morton. 4, count them, 4, in movement of 2 together. Peoria Charter Coach leaving Peoria and East Peoria and headed east. So I assume that they were on the way to Chicago or point east.
Points unknown.
Points unknown, except to them for obvious reasons. Hey, we've been playing AI music, and you're a musician. What are your thoughts about it?
Could you repeat that? I dropped my phone for a second.
I was saying, we've been talking about music produced by AI, and a lot of musicians have been very outspoken, and people in Hollywood as well. What are your thoughts about AI-produced music?
Sounds pretty good, but who's going to pay the musicians?
You don't pay anybody.
I know, that's what I mean. A lot of people are going to be out of work.
Yeah.
A lot of people out of work, yes.
But they'll never replace
Yes.
the little bands playing in restaurants and here and there.
No, that's right.
So they're just a field of live music that you can't replicate.
Yeah. No, you're right. On the other hand, as I mentioned last weekend, I attended a wedding. There was a, quote, disc jockey. I don't think he was a disc jockey. He was more a guy playing music, and that was just recorded music. And a lot of weddings have people like John Meisinger, who used to be part of a twosome, I think, that played music, but they served as disc jockeys. They made it a production with live entertainment. AI does not provide live entertainment and will never replace Dick Hawley.
Oh, no, you don't have enough food?
Well, this morning we do. And when we leave, we'll have plenty of food because Kyle Varnold will not be in the studio. We will be talking to him live on the phone. So if you're hurting for day-old donuts, this is a place to be.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
Microwave takes care of that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. If rigor mortis sets in, put it in the microwave, and it takes care of it. Any long trips planned with Peoria Charter, speaking of the bus company?
Oh, I'm off on medical for months.
Are you feeling okay? You sound okay.
Yeah, I've got have one cataract. I've got hernia surgery coming up here in about a week and a half, and then the other cataract, and then after that, spinal surgery. But other than that, I'm great.
Other than that, you're healthy as a horse, yeah. Well, let me tell you in advance of your cataract surgery, what you will get the opportunity, it's very brief, but you'll see some wonderful light formations during the procedure.
Well, it was just one bright light in mine. It didn't have any color to it.
Oh, it didn't really? You know, when you get hit in the head, you see stars, but when you have cataract surgery, there's no telling what you're going to see. I don't know. Why is that, Dr. Sidler? Why is it? Have you had cataract surgery yet?
No, but
No,
I'm headed that way. Well, this doesn't
did
help
I.
cataracts. That's just cataracts are a cloudiness in the cornea up front and the lens, and that requires a replacement lens, which Dick has obviously had one of already and is due for another one. Yeah, no, I have not, but I have some cataracts forming, and I probably will need it eventually.
You know, I will give credit to the ophthalmologist who I've known for years, started Illinois Eye Center. And I give him credit because I used to go to him. He is pretty much retired now.
He is retired.
And he told me early on, he said, you're having cataracts forming, but they're not ripe yet. And I thought that was an interesting non-medical explanation, but yet let you know that they were in the process of developing like a stalk of corn, I guess.
Well, cataracts in the early stage, the lens itself is a gelatinous tissue, and so if you try to pick it up or remove it, it just, imagine trying to pick up a clump of Jell-O, it kind of falls apart into many little smaller pieces. And so you would have to wait till the cataract got ripe, which meant that the scarring on the cataract became more and more dense and intense, and it then would actually hold the lens together so that you could pluck it out and remove it. Those were the early days of cataract removal. And probably for the last 30 years and maybe more, they now remove it like with a little mini Hoover vacuum cleaner. Yeah, they literally suck it out, and you don't need to wait till it gets more consolidated and firm. So yeah, that was the old theory, and you don't use that term ripe anymore. I guess it's probably still used, but you don't need to wait for surgery to get really that extended bad stage before you do the surgery. But yeah, I tell you, they have miraculous surgeries now for cataracts that not only clear up your vision, but can correct your vision. It can give you bifocal vision, so you can see distance at one correction setting and a different distance close up for reading and a different prescription in your cataract replacement lens. Yes, those are much more expensive, and most insurance and Medicare don't pay for the high-end replacement lenses.
For the basic, because I had that
Yes.
question asked me when I had my
But
cataract
the prices have
surgery.
come way down on those, so it is within reach of a lot of people now to have those much better replacement lenses.
I think it's very important for the driver of Peoria Charter Bus to make sure that he can see.
Yeah, I'd guess as long as he can see past the windshield, he's okay.
Yeah, the doctor told me I won't need glasses to drive the bus anymore.
Yeah, he's putting in a corrective lens. Yes.
Well, yeah, my wife had this done 5 years ago, and it's going to cost a whole bunch of money for corrective lens. And when he was measuring for mine, he said, "No, this is free. This is part of the process now."
Mm-hmm.
So the corrective is just automatic, I guess.
Yes, for the single correction lenses now, that's covered by insurance and Medicare. If you want to go for the bifocal or trifocal lenses,
That's
extra,
those
yes.
are more expensive and usually more out of pocket. Yeah, like tier 3, I guess it's called, whatever, where you pay a little bit more
Well, I
price.
think they do one eye one way and the other eye the other way, and let your brain take care
And
of it.
that's another way they do it. They do one for more close-up vision, one for distance. Does your wife still have to use reading glasses?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Well, she's got to use glasses because she didn't get the corrective.
See, isn't it, when you have one eye do one thing and the other eye do, isn't that called cross-eyed?
that's where you're aiming differently.
Yeah, or cockeyed. That's another procedure. we're not too sure on that.
But I'll need readers, but I won't need it for anything other than reading.
Yeah. Is it raining in your neck of the woods as we speak?
Sprinkling
All right.
on and off.
We're supposed to get some heavy storms a little later on. Anything else you
Well,
want
and
to
it
share?
sprinkles on me and then it runs off.
Anything else you want to add for the good of the audience?
Not particularly.
No,
I
thanks.
would like to add something good for the audience,
Yes,
but I don't have anything
we
else.
always like that. All right, Dick, thanks for calling in. Have a great weekend, and God bless.
You as well.
Dick Hawley, By the way, speaking of wonderful listeners, I had the opportunity yesterday. I was in the Knolls and wound up meeting a gentleman. Neil is his first name. Told me his last name, but I'll just say Neil. And turns out he's a regular listener, complete stranger. Said he enjoys the show, and I got engaged in a nice conversation with him. And it just shows you how small the world is. He told me his last name, and his last name I was familiar with because I went to high school with a gentleman with the last name. And he played basketball, and he married a girl from the north end of Peoria. That was pre
North Valley?
Yeah, pre-North Valley. I can't bring myself to say it.
Yeah, you're going to block there.
I blocked it. Anyway, and he married Mary Ellen Clark. And we had the most wonderful conversation. And it brought to mind, when you talk to somebody that triggers nostalgia, it's a pleasant experience because I remember the young girl, very sweet, very cute and attractive, good personality and so forth. I can tell you where she lived on the north end at the corner of Eureka and Madison, or close to it, which is not far from where my fifth grade teacher, Miss Wright, lived. See these names coming up? Now,
So did you have a crush on Mary Ellen?
I had a crush on every girl when I was growing up. Unfortunately, it wasn't
You seem to have
reciprocated.
way too many recollections of Mary Ellen
Yeah.
here. There must have been something.
Yeah. Well, she was a cutie, no
All
question.
right.
But he played basketball, and he was like 6'5", and she was 5 foot if she were wearing high heels, I think. And it was kind of like, I hate to use the reference because it'll sound like I'm insulting her, but I'm not, or him. It was kind of like Mutt and Jeff. I mean, except you would say Matt and Judy. And I say Judy with affection because that's my sister's old sister's name. But the moral of the story, or the purpose for telling the story is, it is so wonderful when you run into complete strangers and they tell you how much they enjoy Breakfast with Roger and Friends, which I think is very important. And I know, talking to others who've had the same kind of experience. Well, we have Kyle Varnold.
We have a history question still.
Yeah,
to do
we're going to
here.
do that. But let's get into the news because Kyle, did you say is on the road again?
Yes, he's on the road again.
Okay.
Where did he say he was going?
Gurney.
And so we'll take a check of the news at the bottom of the hour. And our news this morning brought to you by Realtor Kathy Reynolds. You know, hard work, we all know, we grew up this way, produces results. And that's why our parents kept telling us, I know it's hard work, but we're building character. And that's why Realtor Kathy Reynolds is so successful. She works hard to get results for her clients seeking to sell and or buy their next home. Learn more from Kathy Reynolds, the Home Smart. You can reach her today for more information about what the marketplace looks like right now at 309-696-2162, 696-2162. And Terry has the headlines.
President Trump claims Iran wants to make a deal, but does it really? The Iranians launched a drone strike yesterday against a Singapore-flagged cargo ship that was leaving the Strait of Hormuz. There were no deaths or injuries. However, the International Maritime Organization temporarily paused its vessel evacuation operation. Trump says the strait is open, and the U.S. Central Command says the American fighter jets are patrolling the skies. The Supreme Court handed President Trump 2 major immigration victories yesterday. The court held that migrants who are turned away at the border before entering the country are not entitled to apply for asylum. The High Court also ruled that Haitian and Syrian nationals in the United States under temporary protected status could not receive judicial relief while they challenged the Trump administration's efforts to evoke it. Conservatives on the court prevailed 6-3 in both cases. It was also a 6-3 vote that struck down a Hawaii law that prohibited licensed concealed carry permit holders from carrying handguns onto private property without express permission. The justices found that the restriction violated the Second and 14th Amendments. In local news, 17-year-old Nadram Williams pleaded guilty to shooting another teen multiple times 2 years ago in the 2700 block of West Wyoming Street. Williams was just 16 when he shot his victim, who has since recovered. The attorney for the young gunman struck a deal with prosecutors, reducing the attempted murder charge to aggravated battery. Judge Steve Corey will sentence Williams in August on the lesser charge. The Peoria Police Blotter reports the arrest of 18-year-old DeMarcus Crowder on a variety of charges, from aggravated battery to possession of a stolen vehicle and unlawful possession of a weapon. Crowder was apprehended without incident on the city's south side. Peoria police are asking the public's help in locating 64-year-old Ernest Porter. He has not been seen since last Tuesday in the area of Wayne Street on the city's near north side. He is described as 5'7" with brown eyes. Call police if you have any information on his whereabouts at 309-494-8357. Peoria firefighters were called to put out a house fire in the 1900 block of West Albany during the noon hour yesterday. The vacant structure was a total loss, and a demolition order was issued. Officials say arson was the cause of the fire. The Peoria Journal is reporting people are living in the 20-story Riverview Plaza building in the 100 block of North Jefferson. The building has been closed for over 2 years, but not to some folks living in the basement of the former First Federal Savings and Loan Association structure. The city has taken the owner, MJ Illinois, to court and testified they found a living area that has been newly remodeled with a gym, beds, and a shower. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, thank you, Connie, and we'll give you the weather as we have it while we wait for Mr. Weather to call in. Mostly cloudy with showers and thunderstorms today, a high around 73. That's a high. Tonight, cloudy and windy, a low 62. Tomorrow, partly sunny and 82. Tomorrow night, showers and thunder boomers and a low 68. And Sunday, it'll be sunny and hot, 90. Sunny and hot on Monday, 93. 95 on Tuesday, Wednesday, 96. And we're stuck at 66 right now. You know, this is the kind of weather that you have a hard time, and this is not a knock on the TV people, but you have a hard time of trying to determine what to wear. Because in the morning, you know, I get up at 4:30 every morning, except on Saturday and Sunday, and the temperature is cooler. And then you recheck the weather, and I do recheck the weather, and then you see that, well, the high today is going to be 73. Yesterday we had, I think, forecasted to be 80. Well, 73, like you're wearing a long sleeve shirt this morning. Are you comfortable? Well, you make a nice living. Are you comfortable with a long sleeve shirt?
You know, on Wednesday and Thursday nights, I look at my app and check the weather for the morning. And if it's a little bit too chilly, like below 70 in the 60s, and especially below that, I'm going to put long sleeves on, and I'm going to wear a pullover if it's down in the 50s. Yeah, because I like to be warm, and your studio here tends to sometimes be a little chilly. There were a couple of times last summer where it got a little too warm in here, but I'd say the great majority of the time it's a little too cool in here. So yeah, the consensus was grab a long sleeve shirt for today. I can always roll up my sleeves or sweat it out either way, but I'd rather do that than be cold. I don't know. I'm probably like you, Roger. You don't like being cold, do you?
No, I don't like being cold at all, and sometimes
Are you more cold
change
affinity?
the thermostat.
Used to be I was
accordingly.
always cold.
Oh.
They used to laugh at me square dancing. I could dance what we call tips, 2 complete tips, and my hands were still like ice. And they're like, "How do you do that?" And like, I don't know.
See, my wife and I are incompatible because she likes to be cold. When it's comfortable for me, it's too hot for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I do have to wear sweatshirts around the house quite frequently.
I was going to say, when you have a couple with differing thermostats, shall we say, it's a battle, because I can't begin to tell you the number of times
she
I've
puts a lock on
turned
the
to
thermostat
change
for me not
the
to
thermostat,
keep me
and
away.
later on I find I start sweating, or I get cold. I go over to the thermostat.
That's not
and we'll
true.
say, who in the heck, except I don't say heck, changed the thermostat? And it was open welfare or warfare or whatever. Mr. Weather is on the line. Good morning, Kyle.
Good morning, Roger and friends. How are we this gorgeous, well, gorgeous for us
Well,
up in Gurney, but rainy for you Friday
are you
morning.
already up there in Gurney?
Yeah, we got up yesterday morning, did our annual Six Flags trip. My son loves roller coasters, and he bought his friend Carter, whose only theme park experience was Disney. So it's like, oh, you're in for a treat. He loves it. A lot bigger rides at Six Flags, like roller coaster wise, as opposed to Disney. The themes are way better at Disney, but if you're looking for thrills and chills and scares and screams, those big roller coasters at Six Flags are where it's at.
Yeah. Did you ever take Nick to a roller coaster ride, or?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, he took him to
Did
Six
he
Flags
like
last
it?
year. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. He loved it. He says they have theme parks in Italy, but the big coasters are in Germany, and like what we have here in the States. But he had a great time. Speaking of Nicholas, today's his last day of school, and then last day of his junior year.
Have you ever heard whether he watches the program on YouTube by any chance?
He does watch. So when we talk, he's just getting out of school.
Oh, I see.
Over in
Okay.
Italy.
But they are
So, yeah.
archived. You can watch them the next day or any time. Yeah.
Yeah, well, tell him.
Thank you for bringing that up, Dr. Sidler. Absolutely. They are archived if he wants to spend 3 hours of his day watching.
No, not 3 hours.
Group.
3 minutes would be nice. If we know when he's going to be watching, we will talk about him.
It helps our view count.
Yeah, it helps our view count, right?
Yeah. No. Well, he'll be watching probably next week because today's his last day of school.
Well, we'll mention that. Well, let's get into the weather. Are we going to have some heavy rainstorms? Are we going to have thunder boomers?
No, I think it'll be more of a scattered rainfall Friday. I think
Really?
the heavy thunder boomers, you call them, I think they stay to the south of us. I think that the heavier storms stay well to the south of I-72, the southern part of the state. I really don't expect a severe event at all this weekend.
Ooh.
And we'll see probably a lot of the rain move out of the area after 2 o'clock today for you guys. I know it's coming up our way as we speak because this morning on my run I saw the high clouds off in the southwest distance as I was trying to figure out where the hell I was up here trying to get back to the hotel. But thank God for phones and maps.
Yeah.
No, I did get disoriented at one point. Like, well, my line of sight was Six Flags, and then there was too many trees. I couldn't see the roller coasters anymore, and I'm like, where am I? Am I in Grace Lake? What's going on now?
Oh, that's
So,
not
yeah,
good.
I wasn't. No, I wasn't in Grace Lake. I think, yeah. No.
So you're saying that the rain is not going to be heavy and the thunderstorms are south?
No, it'll be moderate rainfall for the most part. I think moderate rains, and it'll be very scattered. It'll come in waves, so you're in a pretty decent wave right now. You might see a break around 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then another wave moving after about 1 o'clock. But I think for a majority, it's out of here by 3 o'clock. And then, yeah, nice day tomorrow, which is good because John's been on my case for Keegan's wedding tomorrow. We'll see high in the low 80s and more clouds than sun, but the photographer doesn't care because they have filters. They can fix that. But Sunday is the day we talked about on Monday earlier this week where we said, you heard it here first, we're looking at a pretty impressive heat wave the week of 4th of July. Sunday is where it all starts. We turn up the furnace, turn up those burners on Sunday, and you will feel it. So here's what's going to happen if I could play it out timeline. Thunderstorms Sunday morning. Those thunderstorms clear out because those thunderstorms are riding the boundary of a pretty impressive warm front. Warm front moves through by noon. You'll feel that heat. You'll feel that humidity, most certainly, and those higher dew points. And probably, even though the temperature may be 90 on the thermometer, it'll feel like 100 come Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening.
Wow.
And warm nights, hot days ahead. 4th of July, it looks like it's going to be a hot one. We'll be in the 90s all next week, and unfortunately, we'll have heat indexes with that humidity and those high dew points in the low 70s. Well, it'll feel like low hundreds all next week.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Welcome to July.
Yeah, you're right. But it is Midwest.
Absolutely. And this is we've been kind of blessed for the month of June. We've been cooler, a lot wetter than normal. We're just over 9 inches for the month as we get ready to wrap up the month, and our averages of 5 inches is what we need. So we're well above average. But it's really interesting. I was looking at some precipitation maps when I was watching the World Cup game last night. And so we are well above average precipitation-wise. But you get northwest of Des Moines and like Storm Lake, Iowa, and Sioux City, Iowa, they've only seen about 2 inches of rainfall the whole month of June. So now their concern is moderate drought. Which is good for Illinois farmers because we'll get more money. Our crops will have higher yields than theirs. But it is unfortunate where one part of the country benefits, the other part is quite crippled, much like the world right now as we've been on the cooler side of things weather-wise. But then you have Western Europe that's been an oppressive heat wave. But don't worry, friends, we're going to catch up next week with Western Europe. We'll be experiencing that same heat and humidity thanks to a really strong ridge high pressure, building high pressure, I should say, as it comes out of the southwest. And it's sticking around because there's no big low pressure system or storm system moving in anytime soon. The only relief you'll see is overnight thunderstorms with the cooling night air. Once the sun goes down next week, you'll have a pretty strong mid-level jet that'll fuel overnight thunderstorms, and maybe some impressive thunder boomers too. But hot days ahead, very humid days ahead. And for 4th of July, if we look, I looked at my looking glass going out 8 days. Looks to be a very stormy 4th of July.
Yeah. Incidentally, I read something yesterday in the state of Utah. The governor, I believe, Republican, had announced the banning of all fireworks at the present time because of the heat and the dry conditions in the state of Utah.
Utah, New Mexico, Arizona are scorching and very dry right now.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Some active wildfires going on. Yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of active wildfires, particularly in Utah and Arizona, northern Arizona, and in eastern Nevada. So no, it's a great concern. We typically see that this time of year. There's always part of the country where there's high risk. So unfortunately, the fireworks shows will not happen for 4th of July. And honestly, not going on. I guess I am going on a limb here. I think Red, White, and Boom isn't going to happen on July 4th. I think it'll be July 5th. So you'll wrap up your Independence Day weekend on a much better weather note, on a drier note, July 5th, as opposed to July 4th.
Well, you're out on a limb on that one.
I don't know what's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am going out on a limb, but I go out on a limb on a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's because you know what.
I expect a hot.
It's because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's right, exactly. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that.
Well, and have a good time. Be safe, my friend, and we'll.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a great day. Well, it's gonna be a rainy day. The rain will catch up to us eventually. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun, and we always look forward to our annual Six Flags trip. Calvin and I do. He loves roller coasters, as do I. And my wife says I have enough life insurance. I can ride the big scary one.
There you go. Yeah, you bet. That's important to have. All right, Kyle. Thanks as always. Have a great day.
Hey, are you doing the quiz, or what are you doing? Are you guys doing the quiz?
Well, I've got to do the pet tip of the day, and then the quiz, and then we're going to close with an AI-generated song written by Kathy Reynolds to wrap up the program.
I think he wants to hang on.
I think you want to. All right. I think you want to skip that and go to this day in history. So we'll do it while you're on the line. June 26th.
God bless you.
1974. What happened for the first time, and it has to do with making purchases.
Credit cards. The first credit card came out.
No, 1974.
In the United States?
Yes, United States.
1974?
Correct. June 26, 1974, something happened for the first time.
And it wasn't credit cards.
And it was not credit cards. But, boys and girls, you're close. You're in the neighborhood.
Something to do with purchases.
Yes.
Computer? A personal computer?
No.
A cell phone?
No.
Was it something that became widespread?
You
quickly?
use it every day today.
Is it edible?
No.
Is it, you said we use it every day today.
Yes.
We use it at the store.
Yes.
Barcodes.
That's correct.
Oh.
The first universal product code or barcode was scanned on what product?
A pack of bubble
No
gum.
clue. Give us
Well,
a
you're
hint.
close. It was not bubble gum. It was a pack of juicy fruit gum at a supermarket in what state?
Got to be some
Illinois.
tech state.
It was
like,
a Midwestern state.
Oh, what? Okay.
Illinois.
No.
There's Wrigley and juice.
Kansas.
You need to go east.
Ohio.
Indiana.
Well, Ohio is
Oh.
correct. Originally, barcodes were designed as circles, but too many printing presses smeared the ink. And do you know who it was? The name of the guy who produced it?
John Barr.
His name was George Lauer, and what company did he work for?
IBM.
IBM is correct.
I
Very
remember
good.
that, yeah.
All right, June 27th, 1871, something happened in Japan. What was it?
An earthquake.
No.
1871.
1871?
Yeah.
They were still samurais at that time.
Yeah.
Had to do with money.
The yen
The yen?
became the
The yen becomes the official currency of Japan. Very good. And finally, June 28th, 1982, a famous novel was published.
1830, 1920.
1982.
1982.
1982. Oh, 1984.
No, 82.
The Godfather.
No. Godfather is not a
It
good one.
wasn't George Orwell's 1984?
No.
no, that was way before that.
Did we say Jaws?
No, because they were moving 1975.
Yeah.
So not
It was a novel by Alice Walker.
The Color Purple.
That is correct.
Oh, good job.
And there you have it. Nice going. Well done, class.
Yeah, we
That was
did okay.
And now, just for Kyle, we have our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. As pet owners, we seem to be the ones that also rescue wildlife. This is admirable, but there are some guidelines we need to follow for the safety of the wildlife and humans as well. Most importantly, we should remember to handle wild animals only when absolutely necessary, and only long enough to get them to the wildlife animal rescue location. Because these animals are wild, that means they don't relate to humans in the same way as domestic animals. To wild animals, humans are predators. Everything about humans is alarming: voice, smell, size, and touch. So do not ever try to soothe a wild animal by voice or touch, which always seems to be the natural thing for us humans to do. When you do handle them, remember their defense systems. They will scratch, jump, stab, struggle, and bite in an effort to escape. They don't understand that you are trying to help them. If an animal hurts you, you are not going to be able to help the animal. Keep the injured animal in a dark, quiet, warm place in appropriate cage or sturdy cardboard box. Wild animals hide when stressed, so you need to create the illusion of a safe hideaway. Keep them away from domestic pets and human foot traffic until you can transport them. Never handle a wild animal that you are uncomfortable or frightened of, as this would create a very dangerous situation. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with SPOT, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Thank you, Louis Linder. Coming up, an AI-generated, spiritual, inspiring musical song written by Kathy Reynolds that we want to play as we call it a day and go into the weekend. In the meantime, speaking of the weekend, a big event coming up on this Sunday. Tell everybody about it.
It is the 59th annual shish kebab and Lebanese cuisine dinner down at the I-2 Hall. It'll be open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can dine in, carry out, or drive through. You can have your choice of beef or chicken shish kebab. And then the sides are cabbage rolls, salad, and the pita bread. There'll be live entertainment if you decide to stay down at the I2 Hall and enjoy your meal. Indoor-outdoor seating and fun and games for the kids. Once again, that's Sunday down at the I2 Society Hall on Farmington Road. And you said that, Joe said that if you're going to do the drive-through, you should probably order in advance. Is that correct? Okay.
I think Roger said that it was required that you have to order in advance. Now, Joe never said that, but I think that's true. I don't think you can pull into the drive-through and, well, it depends on how much they have left, I suppose.
Well, yeah, because there are other times I've gone down and drive the drive-thru, and somebody's there to take your order, and then you proceed and you go on through.
When we did it, that was the case too, that they took your order while you were in line, and then as you pulled through, you got the beef or chicken. Yeah. So I think maybe you don't need to call ahead.
You can always check out their website if you go to I think it's the I2 Hall. It brings you up, and then it's got all the details about it.
All right, I think I've lined it up. We've been talking about AI-generated music. Kathy Reynolds, who has written many songs, sung many songs, produced many songs in Nashville, and as a matter of fact, has waxed, as we used to say in the recording industry, 8 CDs. She has written a song.
Doesn't sound like Kathy.
And she's written a song, and hopefully we'll be able to play it. Well, we're as usual. I always have some difficulties with the computer, but this is a IA1 generated song. Lyrics by Kathy Reynolds.
The hands that took the nails now hold me. All the ways I failed, he didn't even see.
what blows my mind. She wrote the lyrics, turned to AI, and they produced everything. The music, the female voice, and as you indicated, in the beginning you thought it was Kathy singing, but it isn't. And I don't know who it is. It's amazing.
It's a computer-generated voice. I mean, that's what...
Yes, you can actually tell these AIs, and this is one that looks like by the name of Suno. I'm not familiar with it, but you can tell these AI programs what type of voice you want it to use, and you can even upload an example of your voice for it to model it after. And I think Joe said yesterday that he did that for that song that he produced.
The AI is, I can understand why a lot of musicians are nervous about AI.
Filmmakers especially are, because yes, they can, somebody like you and I, Roger, in our basement can create a full-length movie.
I'm going to the basement when it gets
rivals the technology of movies that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make.
Isn't that one of the big issue a few months ago was they created this actress, and she's gorgeous, and she was doing all this stuff, and it was strictly computer-generated. She's not a real person at all.
Well, we got to get out of here, and thank everybody for joining us on YouTube and also on WAZU FM 90.7. And we close with an AI-generated plug for the show that you produced yesterday at about this same time, as a matter of fact. And have a great day. Remember, God bless you and save you.
Sun's up over Peoria, hear the coffee brewer. Get the day started sooner with the friends that feel like home. Never feel like I'm alone. Breakfast with Roger and friends. Wazoo FM till the morning ends. Breakfast with Roger and friends on WAZU FM.